This female protagonist has just been reborn, only to marry the scumbag who crippled her in her previous life. Moreover, she must act as a sister to the venomous, seemingly innocent woman who toyed with her until her death. This bright red wedding dress is my curse. The relationship between the Western regions and the Central Plains all rests on this marriage alliance. Since I cannot escape, I will no longer choose to be weak. In my last life, I was too young and naive, unable to tell a man from a dog. In this life, I will make those who abandoned and wronged me pay with their blood. As the wedding procession advanced, the streets of the capital were already packed with people. But what the female protagonist looked forward to was only the moment of revenge. With the neigh of a steed, the crown prince leading the procession appeared in her sight. "It's you, Crown Prince Yin Xiao, my husband." At this very moment in my past life, when I was crippled by arrows shot from all directions, you just stood by and watched coldly. That was the beginning of the tragedy of the rest of my life. The female protagonist clutched the golden-threaded soft armor under her robes. "Bring it on. Even if there are thousands of arrows, I'm no longer afraid." With a whoosh, dozens of arrows flew from all directions. The female protagonist dodged left and right. She leaped from the wedding carriage. Her guard, Shuer, shielded her with her own body. "Princess Naning, get down quickly." At this moment, the crown prince, sitting high on his horse, looked down and asked with a detached expression, "Is the crown princess all right?" Shuer's eyes instantly flashed with killing intent, but the female protagonist pressed down on the dagger she was about to draw. "I am fine. I have startled your highness. It is my fault." The crown princess is truly calm and composed, as expected of a princess from the western regions, raised on horseback. The female protagonist turned, put on her wedding veil, and said, "Let's go. We mustn't delay the auspicious time decreed by the emperor." In a flash, they arrived at the crown prince's manor. After paying respects to heaven and earth, the female protagonist once again married the man she had hated for a lifetime. However, when it was time to enter the bridal chamber, Crown Prince Yin Xiao turned to leave. "I have official business to attend to tonight. You may handle the rest as you see fit." The female protagonist bowed and bid him farewell. It is the crown prince's duty to share the burden of state affairs for the emperor. "You need not worry. Please go ahead." Such an indifferent reply left the crown prince momentarily unable to read her. After saying, "Take care," he left with a flick of his sleeve. "Oh my, isn't this my dear sister?" A familiar voice suddenly sounded from behind. The female protagonist was first startled, then a wave of hatred washed over her. "It's you, the concubine of this crown prince's manor, the legitimate daughter of Prime Minister Ingrone. In my past life, I considered you a dear friend, but I never expected that beneath your pure and innocent exterior hid the heart of a viper. In my last life, I was toyed with to death by you, this seemingly delicate but venomous woman. It's time to settle the score for the humiliation I suffered in my past life." The female protagonist turned back with a faint smile. And which sister might this be? Inro completely ignored the female protagonist and began talking to herself. "Why isn't His Highness the Crown Prince here? I heard that all official matters today were handed over to the third prince. His Highness has no reason to leave sister alone in the bridal chamber. If the Crown Prince has wronged you, sister, please come and tell me. I will definitely seek justice for you." Haha, what a gorgeous white lotus. Declaring your sovereignty the moment you open your mouth? You must be joking, sister. Matters between the crown prince and the crown princess are not for outsiders to meddle in. But as for you, sister, which concubine of the rear court are you? Inro was stunned for a moment, then gave an awkward smile. "I am a concubine of the crown prince's manor, the legitimate daughter of Prime Minister Ingrone. I heard that the crown princess was coming, so I have been waiting here to serve you. Since you are here to serve, then there is no need for idle talk. His Highness the Crown Prince has gone to the palace on state affairs. There are many guests outside, and I am tired. Why don't you, sister, go and entertain them on my behalf?" The female protagonist said, then turned to leave. Wait a moment. Inro was about to step forward when Shuer blocked her. After hearing this, Inro immediately pressed her forehead and performed a tactical feint. I suddenly feel unwell dizzy. I must have caught a chill last night. The female protagonist turned and smiled. I'll leave the guest to you, sister. When the crown prince returns, I will naturally help you claim credit. However, there are many guests outside, a mixed crowd. If anything goes wrong, I'm afraid both the crown prince and the emperor will hold you accountable. As soon as the female protagonist left, Rose showed her true colors. She dumped such a thankless task entirely on me. If I do it well, I'll get nothing more than a word of praise from the crown princess. If I mess it up, I'll have to bear all the blame. Fine, Naning. You're ruthless. We'll see about this. A woman who isn't ruthless can't secure her position. This female protagonist's methods are not to be underestimated. The moment she was reborn, the female protagonist once again married her former husband, whom she had hated for a lifetime. On her wedding day, she even experienced an assassination by arrows and a confrontation with a palace-scheming White Lotus. Now, exhausted, she has fallen into a dream. In a state between sleep and wakefulness, a strange fragrance awakens her from her dream. The female protagonist gets up and looks at the exquisite jewelry box on the table. This jewelry box is the congratulatory gift from that concubine, Rose. It's said to be carved from the finest pearwood, but this strong fragrance is a dead giveaway. The female protagonist takes out a potion that can counter all poisons in the world and pours it on the jewelry box. With a sizzle, a plume of pungent smoke rises. Indeed, the jewelry box was coated with a lethal poison, enough to kill a person. The female protagonist wraps the box in a white cloth and hands it to Shuer. Have someone take this jewelry box back for the emissary to inspect carefully. Do not make this matter public, and ensure no one in the crown prince's manor finds out. After dealing with the poisoned jewelry box, the female protagonist can no longer hold on and falls into a deep sleep. In a daze, she feels herself sinking into water, unable to breathe. The tragic memories of her past life flood her mind. Her paralyzed lower body, her amputated left foot, her swollen body, her blinded eyes. Yin Xiao, my husband, save me. Hurry and save me. Save you? From the moment you married into the crown prince's manor, you should have known this day would come. I have been waiting for you to die for 3 years. Why would I save you? Let me send you on your final journey. No. Yin Xiao. With a scream, the female protagonist startles awake from her dream. Only then does she realize it is the next morning. The maids outside the door are whispering. Have you heard? On her wedding day, the crown princess was left alone in her chambers by the crown prince. This matter has probably already reached the palace. I also heard that the crown prince deliberately left to protect the honor of the side consort. Isn't that clearly meant to embarrass the crown princess? In the future, the position of the main mistress of this manor will likely be handed over to the side consort. Hearing this, the female protagonist steps out with a veil. Look at you all, chirping away. I'm afraid even the sparrows in this garden aren't as noisy as your mouths. With a thud, the maids all kneel. Your Highness, spare us. We will never gossip again. You gossip about royal affairs without cause. The rules of this crown prince's manor are indeed too lax. Shuer, drag these 3 maids who are chattering the loudest to the main gate. Slap each of them 30 times. If anyone dares to say another word, add 10 more slaps. Since I have married into this crown prince's manor again, I will never compromise or allow myself to be bullied. After a series of heart-wrenching screams, the 3 maids' faces were swollen like pigs' heads. Your Highness, please spare us. We will never gossip again. Rose suddenly appears behind the maids. Heavens, what on earth is going on here? At this moment, Rose was trembling with fear at the scene. Her eyes filled with tears. If you were scared, sister, then don't look. Be careful not to harm your health. All right, sister, I understand. Rose suddenly slipped and fell down the steps. The female protagonist flew over and caught Rose. Sister, how could you be so careless? If you had fallen, I would have a hard time explaining it to the crown prince. My lady, Rose's personal maid was about to step forward to help, but the female protagonist swung her hand. With a slap, the maid fell to the ground. The first duty of a servant is to protect their master. If I hadn't been quick enough to catch the lady just now, you, her personal maid, would have likely lost your head. The maid was instantly frightened into begging for mercy. Your Highness, have mercy. This servant will never dare again. Beside them, Rose trembled with fear from the female protagonist's actions. The female protagonist, however, turned to comfort Rose. Sister, don't blame me for hitting your maid. I did it for your own good. You must be too gentle usually, which is why this maid is so neglectful of you. Don't worry. From now on, I am the mistress of this crown prince's manor. I will help you discipline your maids. The female protagonist's method of asserting her dominance was truly brilliant. Translated, it means I beat your dog, and you still have to smile and thank me. Just then, the sound of footsteps came from behind. Crown Princess, what on earth is going on here? Deceit and intrigue, a constant battle of wits. The struggles in this rear palace are truly thrilling. Just after the female protagonist had disciplined the maids to establish her authority, Crown Prince Yin Xiao suddenly appeared behind the crowd. Crown Princess, you've beaten the maids in such a state. What exactly happened? Upon seeing the Crown Prince, Inro immediately rushed to him. Your Highness, I was so scared. The female protagonist, however, remained calm. These maids were gossiping about the royal family's private affairs and even spread rumors that Sister Inro started them. I was merely disciplining them according to the rules. I didn't expect Sister to be so delicate. I ask your Highness to take Sister back to the East Courtyard. Such clever words. The Crown Prince turned to Inro with a concerned look. Roar, are you all right? Inro was already sobbing uncontrollably. I have worried, your Highness. I am fine. Seeing their affectionate display, the female protagonist felt a wave of disgust. Yin Xiao, you two look so in love. I must have been blind in my past life to have given you my heart. It seems I am disturbing you both. I shall take my leave. Back in the rear courtyard, Shu'er came to report. Your Highness, as you commanded, all the disloyal matrons and maids in the Pear Blossom courtyard have been transferred away. The female protagonist looked at the roster in her hand. These 4 maids, Chun, Xia, Qiu, and Dong, were the most loyal and capable in her previous life. Unfortunately, they died early in the schemes of the Crown Prince's manor. Promoting them in this life is a way of repaying their kindness from the last. The 4 of you are now first-rank maids. The others will remain to work in the Pear Blossom courtyard. As long as you are loyal to me, I will ensure your prosperity. Otherwise, the only path is death. With a bang, the Crown Prince suddenly pushed the door open. Naning, you have such a venomous heart. Your Highness, why be so angry? If a servant see this, wouldn't it damage the Crown Prince's prestige? The scene made everyone look at each other. The Crown Prince roared, all of you get out. Shu'er looked worried. Your Highness, it's all right. All of you may leave. I'll be fine here. After the maids left, the female protagonist teased, Your Highness, if you don't vent this baseless anger, I'm afraid you'll burst. The Crown Prince grabbed the female protagonist's hand. Baseless anger? You know very well what you've done. The Crown Prince must be joking. Sister was frightened and has a high fever that won't go down. Why come to me to assign blame? I merely disciplined a few maids with loose tongues, and Sister couldn't handle it. Could it be she has a guilty conscience? The Crown Prince was instantly enraged. He swung his hand towards the female protagonist. With a slap, she caught the Crown Prince's wrist. Crown Prince, you wouldn't come to my Pear Blossom courtyard to vent your anger for no reason. If you come to ask for my help, then please restrain your anger first. We might as well sit down and discuss terms. The Crown Prince really has no good intentions towards you. Having calmed down, the Crown Prince looked embarrassed. The Imperial physician said that the Western region's emissary has a miraculous medicine that can quickly reduce fever. So what the Crown Prince seeks is something for my dowry from the Western regions. It's not impossible for you to get it. But I, Yin Xiao, want control over the Crown Prince's manor for half a month. With a crash, the teacup in the Crown Prince's hand shattered. Rest assured, Your Highness, I will not overstep my bounds. In half a month, it will be the Crown Princess's investiture ceremony. I only want this authority to prepare properly. If you cannot even grant this small request, then I can't seem to recall where I put that medicine. The Crown Prince was now gritting his teeth. Fine, Naning. You dare to threaten me. Dynasties rise and fall. Old acquaintances are gone. Who could have predicted this? This peerless songstress in the Yihong courtyard was actually the graceful and noble princess of a former dynasty. Just as the Crown Prince came to the female protagonist to ask for the miraculous medicine from the Western regions to treat his concubine, the female protagonist used this to blackmail him. Give me control of the Crown Prince's manor for half a month, and I will give you this miraculous medicine. Though the Crown Prince's eyes were filled with hatred, he was helpless. Take it. This is the command token for the Crown Prince's manor. The female protagonist took the token and smiled softly. Attendants, send my fever-reducing medicine to the east courtyard. After half an incense stick's time, a maid reported to the female protagonist, Your Highness, your fever-reducing medicine from the western regions is truly magical. After the lady took it, her high fever subsided. Although she should be fine now, the lady is still weakly leaning on His Highness, the Crown Prince. Just like this. Oh, Your Highness, I'm so very scared. Ha ha. The two mischievous maids made the female protagonist laugh heartily. You're always so mischievous. At this moment, Shu'er suddenly came to report. Princess, an invitation has come from the lady of the East Courtyard. She wishes to host a banquet to thank Your Highness for the fever-reducing medicine. Yeah, a treacherous banquet? I don't have the time for that. I'm not going. Since we're not going, we should go take care of some proper business. As she spoke, the female protagonist had already disguised herself as a young nobleman. Today, let this young master take you to the most comfortable place in the capital for a stroll. The scene changes. In the dark fragrance pavilion, the girls are dressed glamorously, soliciting customers everywhere. The decadent atmosphere intoxicates the patrons. The appearance of the female protagonist and Shu'er makes the girls' eyes light up that, oh my, this young master is so handsome. Shu'er stared at the girls with annoyance, scaring them pale. In contrast, the female protagonist was already surrounded by beauties, thoroughly enjoying herself. While enjoying herself, she didn't forget to remind Shu'er to do as the locals do and not be so formal that aren't we here to pay our respects to the fairy sister? As she spoke, the crisp sound of bells rang from behind. A light veil floated down from the pavilion, and flower petals danced in the air. Amidst the petals, a graceful figure came into view. This beauty is the former dynasty's legitimate princess, Shu'er. Dynasties rise and fall, old acquaintances are gone. A former royal princess, now she can only hide in this dark fragrance pavilion, making a living as an entertainer. Looking at Shu'er, the female protagonist couldn't help but feel emotional. In my last life, Shu'er sent someone to find me secretly, but at that time, I was just a cripple. Before I could figure out her purpose, I was already fatally poisoned. Later, Shu'er's identity as a former princess was exposed, and she was sentenced to death. After her death, she was hung on the city walls of the capital. With a similar identity and a similar experience, the female protagonist couldn't help but feel pity for Shu'er. But this time, I'm not here to reminisce with Shu'er. The female protagonist waved her hand at Shu'er. Give her the silver. Book this Shu'er for this young master for half a month. The scene changes. Inside the pavilion, Shu'er holds a pipa, her face half hidden. Lady Shu'er, let's be direct. I am Naning, the crown princess who just arrived in the Central Plains yesterday. I came today to ask you to teach me the etiquette for the crown princess's investiture ceremony. Shu'er was startled. Could this crown princess know my true identity? I am but a commoner, not very familiar with royal etiquette. If I teach the crown princess incorrectly, I'm afraid I cannot bear the responsibility. It seems Lady Shu'er still doesn't believe me. As she spoke, the female protagonist took out a hairpin from her robes. Lady Shu'er, you must recognize this, don't you? How do you have this hairpin? The black-hearted White Lotus is back online. Her method of framing others is truly vicious. The female protagonist, in order to learn the royal investiture etiquette, came to the dark fragrance pavilion to meet the former dynasty's princess, Shu'er. Unexpectedly, Shu'er repeatedly declined, I am just a commoner and do not understand palace etiquette at all. The female protagonist smiled faintly and took a hairpin from her robes. Lady Shu'er, you must not be a stranger to this hairpin, are you? Shu'er's heart trembled. This is my mother's hairpin. It seems my identity has been discovered after all. The female protagonist raised her hands and made a cut on her hand with a hairpin that we people of the western regions value trust above all else. As long as you, Lady Shu'er, teach me the investiture etiquette, I will give you what you want. Let this hairpin be our pledge. I swear in the name of the Wusun tribe that I will not speak a word of this to anyone else. If I break this oath, may the gods punish me. Shu'er's heart sank. I can't believe she swore an oath in the name of the Wusun tribe. Very well. In exchange, what I want is the steed painting from the Crown Prince's manor. Good, we have a deal. The scene changes. In the Crown Prince's manor, Shu'er can't help but worry for the princess. The steed painting is one of the 7 treasures of the Great Jin dynasty. After Emperor Yi conquered the land, he seized the steed painting from the former royal family. When Yin Xiao turned 1, the emperor gifted him the steed painting to signify his status. It seems this steed painting will not be easy to obtain. The female protagonist, on the contrary, looked relaxed in no matter. Things that are too easy to get are no fun. As she spoke, a maid covered in blood rushed towards them. The female protagonist dodged. The maid fell to the ground and stopped moving. Shuer leaned down to check. This is not good. This maid is already dead. There are no external wounds. It seems she was poisoned. At this moment, the crown prince arrived with his guards. Behind him, Yin-Ro saw the dead maid and turned pale with shock. Your Highness, what on earth is going on? Sister, even if this maid did something to displease you, you didn't have to be so heavy-handed. Naning, you had better explain this to me clearly. Otherwise, according to the rules of the crown prince's manor, you will not be able to escape responsibility. How interesting. You know that Shuer and I just returned to the manor. This maid suddenly ran into me and then collapsed. What is it, Yin Xiao? Are you that eager to make a move against me? I don't know what tricks you're trying to play, but you were the last person to have contact with this maid. According to the rules, even if you're the crown princess, you must be sent to the Dali temple for interrogation. The female protagonist suddenly pushed the crown prince away and drew a short blade from her sleeve. With a slash, the female protagonist cut the maid's throat. Naning, you are simply too audacious. Don't be so hasty, Your Highness. Look, this maid's blood is black. It seems this maid had been poisoned for a long time and deliberately ran into me. The female protagonist then brought her fingertip, stained with blood, to her nose and sniffed that I see. Yin Xiao, if I can tell you the truth, tell you what poison this is, and tell you who the murderer is, what reward will you give me? The crown prince was amused. In a situation like this, you still dare to make demands of me. How interesting. If you can really tell the truth, I will give you whatever you want. The female protagonist's sharp gaze fell on Rome beside them. You said it, Your Highness. An online tutorial for tearing apart a white lotus. This vicious, black-hearted white lotus has really met her match this time. Just as the black-hearted white lotus was trying to frame the female protagonist and had harmed a maid, the female protagonist's words made the white lotus's heart pound with anxiety. I say, Your Highness, if I tell you the truth of this matter, what reward will you give me? How interesting. If you can solve this case, I will give you whatever you want. Good. That's what I was waiting for. The female protagonist picked up the short blade, cut open the maid's sleeve, and found a pinprick-sized wound on her arm. Then, she poured the antidote on the wound. With a sizzle, the maid's arm was instantly corroded by the poison. The female protagonist lifted the arm. She showed everyone. After death, this maid's blood turned black, and she bled from all 7 orifices. This tiny, almost invisible wound is the only one on her entire body. This is a common poison in your central plains, green bamboo snake. Although this poison is common, the method of administration is rather troublesome. The poisoner needs to use a silver needle to inject the poison into the skin. This method also causes the poisoner's fingers to turn a bluish color, and this bluish color cannot be washed away with water. It can only be eliminated by taking an antidote for 3 consecutive days. The female protagonist suddenly stepped forward. She grabbed the wrist of Yin-Ro's personal maid. That am I right? As the personal maid of the side consort, you should probably explain the color of your fingers to His Highness the Crown Prince. At this point, Shuer was completely flustered. She turned and knelt before Yin-R. "Oh, you my lady, save me. Please save Shuer." Yin-Ro was startled. This damned wench is kneeling and begging me for help. She then turned and clung to the Crown Prince. Your Highness, there must be some hidden reason for this. I implore Your Highness to investigate the cause. Don't worry, Roa. I believe you. It's just that murder is a capital crime. If we let it go lightly, it would be an injustice to all the people under heaven. Seeing Yin-Ro sobbing, the female protagonist felt a wave of disgust. Your Highness, can you fulfill the promise you made to me just now? Your Highness, I want your steed painting now. Seeing the crown prince remain silent, the female protagonist continued to press. Yin Xiao, you're not thinking of going back on your word, are you? Xiaoran, go and get the steed painting and send it to the Pear Blossom courtyard now. Yes, Your Highness. Attendants, escort the side consort back to the east courtyard to rest. The rest of you may leave. After the crowd dispersed, the crown prince began to question the female protagonist. Why do you know medicine? My master is the #1 poison master of the western regions, Wissen Gue. I don't know medicine. I'm just skilled with poisons. Are all women from the western regions as difficult as you? If we follow your highness's logic, then are all women from the central plains as frail as Sister Inro? At this moment, the female protagonist and the crown prince were at a standoff, neither willing to back down. The female protagonist suddenly turned away. There's no point in talking if we don't see eye to eye. It's time for me to go feed my little snake. The crown prince also turned to leave. That you'd better keep your snake under control. If it scares Rower, I don't mind adding it to my dinner. Thank you for the reminder, Your Highness. And Your Highness should also keep your little concubine under control. Don't let her come to the Pear Blossom courtyard to provoke me. Otherwise, I'll let her see what a human heart more venomous than a snake's is like. The kind are bullied, just as a tame horse is ridden. This female protagonist, who was weak in her past life, has finally learned to be ruthless. While the female protagonist and the crown prince were arguing heatedly over the maid's matter, they were unaware that the entire incident was being recorded by a spy and reported to the emperor. It seems this girl has not disappointed me. With her by Chower's side, I can rest assured. And in the crown prince's manner, a subordinate was reporting to the crown prince, Your Highness, before we could even begin the interrogation, the maid Shurer had already taken poison and died. Do we still need to continue the investigation? The crown prince's expression was grave. He said meaningfully, no need. It's not yet time to fall out with the prime minister's manner. Next, go and investigate what the crown princess wants with this steed painting. At this moment, Rose suddenly pushed the door open. Your Highness, I heard that you were so busy investigating Shurer's case that you didn't even have time for dinner. I specially brewed a bowl of lotus seed soup and brought it for you. By the way, Your Highness, I was wondering how the investigation of Shurer's case is going. Are there any clues? The crown prince gently caressed Rose's face. That Ronger is so thoughtful. You're concerned about my health and also about the case I'm investigating. The crown prince's words were a subtle warning to Rose to stop causing trouble. Rose's eyes immediately filled with tears again. All I know is that I love Your Highness with all my heart. To be able to spend my life with Your Highness is the greatest honor I could imagine. At this time, in the Pear Blossom courtyard, the female protagonist was staring at the steed painting, lost in thought. For a former princess to be so fixated on this steed painting, what secret could it hold? Why do I feel like I've seen this painting in my mother's chambers before? Sure, have you ever seen this painting in the royal palace? Princess, you've probably been too tired lately and are having a false memory. How could something from the crown prince's manor appear in the palace of the western regions? I should light some calming incense for you. You should rest early, princess. Perhaps. By the way, sure, pack a few more of these pomegranate incenses and send them to the east courtyard for Rose to smell. It will serve as a constant reminder of my existence as the crown princess. Princess, if we send this pomegranate incense, I'm afraid Rose will use it to make a big fuss. It's fine. After the incident with Shurer, Rose will probably lie low for a while. I, on the other hand, want to take the initiative and stir up some trouble. Otherwise, wouldn't life in this deep manor be too boring? Now, if she accepts this pomegranate incense, she'll just be disgusting herself. If she doesn't accept it, then our good sister relationship would be hard to explain. Sure, you should also get a good rest tonight. Tomorrow, we have to go to our master for lessons. The scene changes. In the dark fragrance pavilion, as soon as the female protagonist entered, she smelled a strong scent of pomegranate. At this moment, Shueji pushed the door open. I wonder if the young master has prepared what I asked for. The female protagonist looked puzzled. You deliberately lit this pomegranate incense from the western regions. What are you trying to tell me? I wonder, does the crown princess find this steed painting unusually familiar? Pomegranate incense and the steed painting. This is all I can tell you. The rest, the crown princess will have to figure out on her own. As she spoke, a maid suddenly came to report. Eldest miss, people from the Dali Temple are here to investigate a case. Investigate a case? How interesting. There are plenty of dirty things happening in the dark fragrance pavilion. They all know that perfectly well. The female protagonist turned back with a smile that you'd better hide. Don't forget your identity. And for a dignified crown princess like you to appear in a place like this is also hard to explain. Let's go together. Just as the female protagonist and Shueji were about to leave, with a bang, the crown prince suddenly pushed the door open. Attendants. take her highness back from me. Caught by her husband visiting a brothel in drag, and personally sent to court by him. This female protagonist is a bit tragic. Just as the female protagonist went to the dark fragrance pavilion to learn the investiture ceremony etiquette from Lady Shueji, Crown Prince Yin Xiao suddenly burst through the door. Attendants, take her highness back from me. The scene changes. In the Dali Temple, the Crown Prince publicly interrogates the female protagonist. Naning, you, a dignified princess of the Western regions, and the Crown Princess of the Great Jin, were found in a filthy place like the Dark Fragrance Pavilion. Do you plead guilty? Although kneeling in the courtroom, the female protagonist felt no fear in her heart. I merely heard that Shueji has served members of the royal family for many years, so I entrusted Lady Shueji to teach me some royal etiquette. Ridiculous. The dignified crown princess going to the dark fragrance pavilion to learn etiquette? Are you mocking me for having no capable people in my manor? Yeah, you and I both know very well. How could I dare to use the tutors in the crown prince's manor? You're not unaware that a certain someone in the manor is no saint. Your Highness, are you satisfied with my answer? The crown prince was rendered speechless and could only change the subject. He continued, don't think I don't know what you want with that steed painting. The female protagonist was suddenly alarmed that it seems Yin Xiao also knows Shueji's identity. But since he hasn't said anything, it means he doesn't want to act against Shueji yet. It seems he just wants me to bow my head and admit my mistake. But I refuse to do as you wish. Seeing the female protagonist remain silent, the crown prince continued to mock her. What? Can't speak. Are you scared now? Scared? I've lived this long, and I still don't know how to write the word scared. But if my father, the king of the Western regions, knew that his most beloved little princess was subjected to such torture in the Great Jin, how heartbroken do you think he would be? Damn that Naning. She dares to threaten me now. At this moment, an official from the Dali Temple suddenly stepped forward. Your Highness, a verbal decree from the Emperor. Do not make things difficult for the Crown Princess. Naning, consider yourself lucky this time. Attendants, release the Crown Princess. After the shackles were removed, the female protagonist remained as calm as ever. Naning, why is it that I have found you not guilty, yet you show no sign of joy? Joy? Yin Xiao, we people of the Western regions have always been clear about our love and hate. If I do not love you, forget showing joy. Even being pleasant to you is my limit. Hearing this, the crown prince was filled with hatred, but was helpless. On the carriage back to the crown prince's manor, the two were silent the entire way. The scene changes. At the crown prince's manor, as soon as the crown prince got off the carriage, Yin-Ro rushed up to him. Your Highness, I have already prepared dinner for you, including your favorite perch. The female protagonist snorted softly, jumped off the carriage, and strode away. Sister, please wait. The pomegranate incense you gifted me is extremely precious, sister. I have nothing to repay you with. This jadeite hairpin is a tribute item bestowed by the Emperor. Please accept it, sister. Seeing this, the female protagonist smiled to herself. Yin-Ro, I'd like to see what tricks you're up to now. Thank you, sister. I like this hairpin very much. I'm tired today. You and the crown prince enjoy your meal. I will go back and rest. The female protagonist turned to leave. Yin-Ro aimed for the female protagonist's injured wrist and grabbed it. Sister, stay. Let's have dinner together. A sharp, piercing pain suddenly shot through her. The female protagonist broke out in a cold sweat. Let go. I already said I'm tired today, yet you deliberately pull me to dine with you, just to show how magnanimous you are. I'm not a 3-year-old child. I'm afraid some things will disappoint you. After saying this, the female protagonist left gracefully, leaving Yin-Ro hanging in place. The scene shifts. The next morning, a heavy rain washes over the capital. Princess, wake up. A sudden flood has reached the city gates. The crown prince has ordered everyone in the manor to evacuate to higher ground. Hearing this, the female protagonist rushed out the door. This shouldn't be. This shouldn't be like this. The great flood in my past life shouldn't have come so early. Could it be that my interference has changed everything? People are not plants. How can they be without feelings? Unexpectedly, the usually sinister and ruthless black-hearted White Lotus also has a gentle and tender side. After the confrontation with the crown prince in court, the exhausted female protagonist had fallen into a deep sleep. A sudden flood, however, awakens her from her dream. What's going on? Could it be that my interference has changed everything now? In a flash, the female protagonist was already on the city wall. Looking at the raging flood, her heart tightened. Why is the flood this time so fierce? The crown prince suddenly walked up from behind. What's going on? Didn't I order everyone in the manor to evacuate? I know, but as the crown princess, with the people in turmoil, how could I evacuate first? The crown prince was about to retort, but swallowed his words. Fine. Since the crown princess is so concerned about the people, then you're on your own. Wait. The female protagonist suddenly grabbed the corner of the crown prince's robe. The source of this flood is the Jinghua Canal in the outskirts. We must solve the problem with the canal first. The crown prince looked at the female protagonist with suspicion. And how do you know that? You don't need to know how I know. But for the sake of the people of the capital, Yin Xiao, you must believe me this time. The water level will only get higher now. Continuing to build dikes will only sacrifice the lives of the Imperial Guards for nothing. We should now, as quickly as possible, dig channels around the canal to divert the flow and release the pressure of the flood. Yin Xiao, just trust me this once. Divert the flow to release the pressure. At this moment, a subordinate arrived with a verbal decree from the emperor, ordering the crown prince to stabilize the canal's water situation at all costs. If he fails, he will be executed. The crown prince's face turned grim. Pass on my order. All Imperial Guards, follow me to dig. Your Highness, we absolutely cannot. Your Highness is the foundation of the state. How can you take such a risk? Nonsense. The soldiers are all on the front lines. As the Crown Prince of Jin, how can I retreat? Shu'er was suddenly filled with admiration. The Crown Prince in this state does have the air of a ruler. Yes, I didn't expect that at this critical moment he would still believe me. The female protagonist's eyes suddenly lit up. She saw a graceful figure under the city tower, holding an umbrella and running towards the Crown Prince. Yin Xiao, how could I forget? You still have the person you hold dearest in your heart by your side. The Crown Prince was completely focused on digging, completely ignoring Ingrong holding an umbrella behind him. That I don't need an umbrella here. If you have nothing to do, grab a shovel and go dig with the others. Behind him, Inro looked at the Crown Prince with tearful eyes. The Crown Prince, who usually doted on her, had never spoken to her so harshly. Inro swallowed her words and just stood silently to the side, holding the umbrella for her husband. The female protagonist and Shu'er quietly watched all of this unfold. I didn't expect the side consort to be so good to the Crown Prince. She's been holding that umbrella for 2 hours. Let's go, Shu'er. The canal is almost cleared. There's nothing left for us to do here. Ronger, are you all right? A shout from the Crown Prince suddenly came from below the city wall. The Crown Prince was seen running frantically in the rain, holding Inro. You absolutely cannot have anything happen to you. The female protagonist sneered from behind. You two are such a loving couple. The scene changes. The rain has passed and the sky is clear. Your Highness, news from the East Courtyard says that the side consort has caught a severe cold. The physicians in the city say there's no cure. The Crown Prince is now throwing a tantrum in the East Courtyard. Hearing this, the female protagonist remained calm. Sure, go get my medicine box. Let's go to the East Courtyard and join the fun. Faced with a black-hearted white lotus who toyed with her to death in her past life, would you choose to save her or stand by and watch? Inro, having fallen ill from holding an umbrella for the Crown Prince in the storm, is now on the verge of death. The female protagonist says to Shu'er, grab our things. Let's go to the East Courtyard and join the fun. When they arrived at the entrance of the East Courtyard, with a bang, an Imperial physician was suddenly thrown out. Get out, all of you useless things. Seeing this, the female protagonist gracefully walked into the chamber. The physicians here can't cure my sister. Why don't you let me try? Get out of here. You're not needed here. The female protagonist directly ignored the Crown Prince, leaned over, and took the pulse of the dying Inro on the bed to diagnose her. Are you deaf? I told you to get out now. Shut up. Stop talking nonsense here. Your sweetheart doesn't have a common cold. The canal water is already filthy, and with various germs from the soil entering her body. In your Central Plains terms, she has heat toxin syndrome. Ordinary medicine won't cure it now. As she spoke, the female protagonist reached for the short blade in her medicine box. The Crown Prince suddenly grabbed her wrist. Are you planning to use a blade in the Crown Prince's manner? The female protagonist did not back down. Right now, cutting her throat to let blood is the fastest way to save her. Do you want to watch her die? How do I know you're not trying to take this opportunity to get revenge on Ro? Yin Xiao, if I really wanted to kill her, I wouldn't stoop to such a low-class method. If you delay any longer, In less than half an incense stick's time, you can prepare to collect your beauty's corpse. The old imperial physician behind them trembled. Your Highness, what the crown princess says is true. Right now, only someone from the western regions would know how to treat this. The crown prince gritted his teeth in anger. Approved. Get on with it. Yeah, you say get on with it and I should? This crown princess doesn't feel like saving anyone right now. It has nothing to do with me anyway. If you want me to continue saving her, you must agree to 2 conditions. Naning, don't be so audacious. Don't think I really can't do anything about you. Oh, Your Highness, I know you have your ways, but your rower can't wait for your ways. We've already wasted a lot of time. If Prime Minister Ing blames you later, I'm afraid you'll have a hard time explaining it. The Crown Prince looked unwilling, yet helpless. Speak. What are your conditions? Very simple. I want you to release Shueji, whom you imprisoned last time. Second, I want the best matron from the palace to teach me the investiture ceremony. I approve both conditions. Hurry up and do it. The scene changes. An incense sticks time later. Inro's condition has stabilized. The female protagonist suddenly felt dizzy and fell into the Crown Prince's arms. Physician, quickly see what's wrong with the Crown Princess. After taking her pulse, the physician slowly said, Her Highness has caught a cold, and coupled with the concentration required for the treatment just now, her body is now exhausted. She needs to rest and recuperate well. Lying in the Crown Prince's arms, the female protagonist murmured, Sure, take me back to the Pear Blossom Courtyard. I'm so tired. None of you come over. I will personally take Her Highness back. The Crown Prince carried the female protagonist and hurried to the Pear Blossom Courtyard. Looking at the fainted female protagonist in his arms, the Crown Prince's heart was filled with mixed feelings. Why do you have to be so stubborn? Have you ever seen a woman travel a long way just to kneel before her rival? This black-hearted white lotus is truly ridiculous this time. The female protagonist fainted from exhaustion after saving Inro. When she woke up again, she was back in the Pear Blossom Courtyard. Shuer beside her was in tears. Your Highness, you've been unconscious for a day and a night. I thought you weren't going to make it. Silly girl, am I not alive and well? The Crown Prince suddenly walked into the room. Since you're awake, I should fulfill my promise. This is Matron Shun, the best etiquette teacher in the palace, and also my wet nurse. Also, I have already released Shueji from the Dali Temple. As for her whereabouts, I do not know. That was not part of our agreement. Thank you, Your Highness. It seems you are a man of your word. The Crown Prince looked at the female protagonist defiantly. Don't get any ideas. I only fulfilled your conditions because you saved Rower. I know my place. This was just a transaction between us, nothing more. Matron Shun, standing by, looked awkward though. Crown Prince, you're going to have a hard time winning her back later. The female protagonist continued coolly. If Your Highness has no other business, then please go back and accompany your sister Inro. I'm also tired. The Crown Prince's anger flared up. Another order to leave. Do you think I actually want to come to your Pear Blossom Courtyard? Shaoran, since your business is done, let's go. Huh? What does this have to do with me? In a flash, 10 days had passed. The female protagonist had made great progress in learning palace etiquette. Your Highness learned so quickly. You've learned everything in just 10 days. Now you just need to practice diligently. It's also because Matron Shun is a good teacher. Although you were especially strict with me, I know you did it for my own good. As she spoke, a delicate voice sounded from behind. Oh my, sister looks so lovely like this. The female protagonist slowly put down the bowl in her hand. You came at this hour just to see me make a fool of myself? I am practicing the investiture ceremony etiquette. I don't have time to entertain you right now. Oh my, sister, you're being such a stranger. Why would I need you to entertain me? I came this time specifically to thank you for saving my life. Matron Shun, standing by, suddenly spoke up. Lady Yin, as a concubine, you should know your place. Whenever a concubine sees the Crown Prince's official wife, she must perform a grand salute. Insolence! Where did this matron come from to speak with such audacity? Do you know who my lady is? The female protagonist gently played with the wine cup in her hand. This is His Highness the Crown Prince's wet nurse, Matron Shun. Inro was startled. What? She is Matron Shun? Then she obediently saluted. This concubine, Ing, greets Matron Shun. May the matron be well. I am merely the Crown Prince's wet nurse. I dare not receive such a grand salute from you, my lady. But the Crown Princess is not only the Crown Prince's official wife, but also the future Empress of Great Jean. Disrespecting the Crown Princess is disrespecting Great Jean. Since you are a concubine, you must always remember the etiquette of the palace. The female protagonist chuckled lightly, no matter, no matter. Matron, you're being too serious. Sister Inro is not the kind of person who lacks manners. With a thud, Inro knelt on both knees. This concubine, pays her respects to the crown princess. May your highness be well. The female protagonist smiled to herself, coming all this way just to kneel and greet me. You've really gone to a lot of trouble. The White Lotus is black-hearted and impossible to guard against. Truly, one must not underestimate the viciousness of this White Lotus flower. Just as Inro, under the guise of repaying a debt, went to the pear blossom courtyard to mock the female protagonist, she was subdued by Matron Shun in one move, a concubine. To not perform a grand salute upon seeing the crown princess is far too ill-mannered. Inro did not dare to be presumptuous and could only kneel obediently. Greetings, your highness the crown princess. Oh, coming so early in the morning to pay your respects. You've really troubled yourself, sister. Not at all, sister. This is what I should do. Inro wanted to say more, but the female protagonist changed the subject and ignored her. Matron Shun, didn't you say yesterday that you had urgent business in the palace? These are the unique pastries of the pear blossom courtyard. Thank you for your trouble these past few days, Matron Shun. Thank you, your highness. I will take my leave and return to the palace now. After Matron Shun left, the female protagonist slowly looked at Inro. Oh, my sister, why are you still kneeling? Please rise quickly. Inro struggled to her feet. It seems I was the one who was unworthy to have Matron Shun scold me. Hearing the hidden meaning in Inro's words, the female protagonist smiled faintly. It seems sister is not very satisfied with the position of side consort. Hearing this, Inro quickly changed the subject. I wonder if sister has finished learning the investiture ceremony etiquette. Matron Shun has returned to the palace now. If sister has anything she doesn't understand, I can help. In that case, I do have one matter to trouble you with, sister. Matron Shun left in such a hurry. She didn't have time to tell me which seat I should take during the banquet. That's simple. Our dynasty's empress passed away early, and the emperor has not yet appointed a new one. Since sister is the crown princess, you are the future empress. You should sit in the first seat to the emperor's left. Hearing this, the female protagonist smiled to herself. Inro, oh Inro, you really are still that black-hearted White Lotus. You say you came to repay me for saving your life, but your actions are so despicable. You open your mouth and assign the noble consort's seat to me. Are you afraid I won't die fast enough? It's true that our dynasty's empress passed away early, but there is still noble consort Rome. Although she doesn't have the title of empress, her status is equivalent to one. In terms of etiquette, that is indeed my seat. But once I sit there, it would be an embarrassment to the noble consort. Your move is truly a way of killing without spilling blood. What's more, this noble consort Rome is your own aunt. You really are ruthless. Sister's knowledge of etiquette is indeed thorough, truly worthy of being the prime minister's legitimate daughter. If sister has no other matters, I will take my leave. Go on, sister. You should go back to the east courtyard and rest. After Inro turned away, her face was filled with hatred. Naning, for today's humiliation, I will make you pay back double, including today's grand kneeling salute. After Inro left, Shuer took out a letter. Princess, a reply has come from the state preceptor. The jewelry box we sent for inspection has yielded results. After reading the letter, the female protagonist sighed to herself as, oh, that's how it is. The poison used on the jewelry box is a type of water lily poison from the south. In the early stages of poisoning, there are no symptoms, but by the time it's discovered, it's already incurable. It seems this is the poison I died from in my previous life. Princess, this box was sent by the one in the east courtyard. Could it be her? No, Inro doesn't have that kind of power. She was just used as a tool. It seems this matter is not as simple as it appears on the surface. How dare a mere old servant confront the female protagonist directly? This old servant must have a death wish. The female protagonist learned from the state preceptor's reply that the jewelry box sent by Inro was not simple. The mastermind's goal was definitely not just to take my life. Shuer listened with a worried expression. Should I go and investigate this matter? Not for now. We'll just wait for the mastermind to walk into our trap. Today is the anniversary of my mother's death. Shuer, go prepare some paper money. I want to pay my respects to my mother tonight. Remember to find a secluded place. We must not break the rules of this crown prince's manor. In a flash, the moon was high in the sky. The female protagonist and Shuer huddled in a corner, quietly burning paper money. The flickering firelight danced in the female protagonist's eyes, and 1,000 thoughts flooded her mind. The usually strong female protagonist finally let down her inner armor. All her grievances turned into hot tears that slowly rolled down her cheeks. Mother, Ninger really misses you and father. Ninger really doesn't like it here, and I don't care about being this crown princess. There are thousands of good men in my western regions. Any one of them is better than this crown prince. Ninger is so lonely here. But what the female protagonist didn't know was that the crown prince had been standing nearby for a while. Seeing her crying her heart out, the crown prince's heart was also filled with mixed feelings. At this moment, the head matron of the crown prince's manor suddenly stepped forward. What are you two doing here? Oh, it's the crown princess. Greetings, your highness. Since you know it's the crown princess, why don't you leave at once? Unexpectedly, the matron stood her ground and scolded. The crown prince's manor strictly forbids the private burning of paper money. If even her highness, the mistress of the house, doesn't follow the rules, won't outsiders laugh and say that this crown prince's manor is full of uncultured people with no rules? Matron, you must be joking. You know about this, and I know about this. How could it become gossip for outsiders? Or does the matron have other ideas in mind? Hearing this, the matron's eyes widened in anger. Your highness's words truly hurt this old servant's heart. I am an old servant of this manor. How can your highness question my loyalty to the crown prince's manor? With a thud, the matron knelt on the ground. For your highness to say such a thing is more painful than killing this old servant. The female protagonist watched the matron's Oscar-worthy performance with a blank expression. You dare to guilt-trip me? You really dare to call yourself a loyal matron? In my past life, wasn't it you who, under Ian Rowe's orders, tortured me for 3 whole years? Your attitude back then was quite arrogant and domineering. Since you've said so, then Shu'er, you may proceed. Shu'er's short blade was unsheathed. She flew behind the matron. Old wench, killing you would be granting your wish. Unexpectedly, the matron instantly cowered. Your highness, spare me. Since you want to talk about rules, then I'll ask you, what is the crime for speaking disrespectfully to the crown princess, for daring to glare at the crown princess with cold eyes, for offending the crown princess in such a manner? The matron's face instantly turned ashen. It is. The female protagonist leaned down and lifted the matron's chin that can't say it. Then let me teach you. Disrespecting a member of the royal family, openly offending the crown princess, that is a capital crime. With a thud, the matron collapsed to the ground in fear, completely devoid of her earlier arrogance. Please, your highness, spare this lowly one's life. I will never dare again. Stop. The crown prince suddenly appeared behind the female protagonist, neighing. You are being too audacious in this crown prince's manner. Seeing him, the matron scrambled like a dog to the crown prince's feet. Your highness, you must seek justice for this old servant. I was only telling her highness not to burn paper money in the manor, and her highness wanted to kill me, this loyal old servant. Do you know what the highest level of a dog borrowing its master's power is? It's when some people really start to think they are the dog. The head matron of the crown prince's manor deliberately made things difficult for the female protagonist for not following the rules. Unexpectedly, she was scared to death by the female protagonist's actions. The next second, she was crawling at the crown prince's feet, screaming wildly. Your highness, you really must seek justice for this old servant. I was only reminding her highness that she couldn't burn paper money in the manor, and her highness wanted to kill me, this loyal old servant. The female protagonist snorted. What a fine case of the villain suing the victim first. The reason I wanted to kill you was just because of that. Isn't that so? Every word this old servant says is the truth. You were disrespectful to the crown princess first. Then you insulted her, and now you're twisting the truth in front of the crown prince. You just saved your dog's life, and you're not running? From the looks of it, you don't want your tongue either. Neighing, you are becoming more and more audacious. This is the crown prince's manor within my gene kingdom. Don't you dare use your western region's methods to deal with the crown prince's manor. The crown prince advanced step by step. Look at you. Where's the demeanor of the mistress of the crown prince's manor? The female protagonist did not flinch, confronting him head-on. Yin Xiao, no matter how much you say, I'm unworthy, no matter how much you say I lack decorum, the mistress of this crown prince's manor can only be me. The crown princess of this Jin kingdom will only be me, Naning. The crown prince gritted his teeth in anger, but couldn't lash out. He could only swallow his frustration. Naning, you had better watch your words and actions. If there is a next time, I will not let you off easily. After saying this, the crown prince turned and walked away. The head matron followed at his heels, fleeing in panic. After the crown prince left, the female protagonist's trembling hands gradually stopped. Large beads of cold sweat dripped down her cheeks. That was really too dangerous just now. Princess, you were indeed too reckless just now. If you had truly angered the crown prince, he might have laid a hand on you. I know. I was gambling on whether Yin Xiao was really that ruthless. Don't worry, Sure. There won't be a next time. On the way back to the Pear Blossom courtyard, Sure reported to the female protagonist. Princess, you previously had people keep an eye on the Scholar Gu's residence. The spy just reported that Scholar Gu's son, Gu Jin, went to the Rui restaurant tonight. Then we must set off quickly. We cannot afford to miss this opportunity. The scene changes. Inside the restaurant, the female protagonist is savoring the fine wine and delicacies that I in my past life. Scholar Gu's son, Gu Jin, was kidnapped by villains, causing Scholar Gu to be controlled by Prime Minister Een at every turn. In this life, Prime Minister Een, don't blame me for striking first. Suddenly, the sound of commotion caught the female protagonist's attention. They're finally here. Several large men with knives were seen grabbing Gu Jin and about to leave. Stop. How dare you? Kidnapping someone with knives in broad daylight. A large blade suddenly swung from behind. You dare ruin our business? You're looking for death. While dodging, the female protagonist's hair tie accidentally fell off. TCH, so it's a woman. Just as the man was about to strike again, a pebble knocked the large blade from his hand. A group of grown men kidnapping a child and bullying a woman. Have you no shame? Damn it, brothers, let's retreat. We'll see about this. After the villains fled, the man in green clothes asked, I am Longshan. Miss, are you injured? The female protagonist pointed to Gu Jin beside her that I'm fine. Let's check if this child is hurt first. Gu Jin's eyes were filled with tears. Thank you, sister, for saving my life. I am Gu Jin, the son of Scholar Gu. I will definitely report today's events to my father. We will surely visit to thank you another day. The female protagonist smiled to herself. Young man, you finally said the right thing. But why would they want to kidnap you? I think someone has their eyes on the scholar's residence and wants to kidnap the young master to threaten them. By the way, miss, I still don't know your name. My name is Naning from the Western regions. What? Sister, you are the crown princess? If you want to get by in life, you have to wear a little green on your head. This female protagonist's way of getting back at the scumbag is truly eye-opening. The female protagonist successfully rescued Scholar Gu's eldest son, Gu Jin, at the restaurant. She also unexpectedly met the Longshan who came to her aid. After sending Gu Jin back to his residence with Shu'er, the female protagonist and Longshan drank and talked happily. It turned out that Longshan had already seen my true face at the wedding ceremony. It seems your identity is not simple either. Haha, not at all. I'm just a humble commoner. After 3 rounds of drinks, the female protagonist and Longshan were still not finished. Crown Princess, tomorrow night at this time, let's drink to our heart's content again. Do you dare to come? I'll come if I want to. What's there to be afraid of? The female protagonist thought to herself, I'd like to see what your purpose is. The scene changes. In the Crown Prince's manor, Xiao ran reports to the Crown Prince. The Crown Princess got drunk tonight and was sent back to the manor by the third prince. And it seems the Crown Princess doesn't know the third prince's identity. With a bang, the Crown Prince's face turned green with anger. Why was the third prince with the Crown Princess? The customs of the Western regions are truly liberal. Send someone to keep an eye on both of them. And on the third prince's side, a subordinate was also reporting to him. Your Highness, we are being followed. No matter. Those are the Crown Prince's men. Pay them no mind. Have you found out what I asked you to investigate? I have. The Crown Princess's appearance at the restaurant tonight seemed accidental, but in reality, she had already sent people to monitor the scholar's residence, and the timing was just within the last few days. It seems this Crown Princess is truly not simple. How on earth did she know about Prime Minister Yin's movements? Oh, elder brother, It seems you've acquired quite a treasure. In a flash, it was the next morning. Shu'er brought hangover soup. Your Highness, last night after I sent Gujin back to his residence, Scholar Gu said he would definitely visit to thank you one day. Also, as your Highness predicted, there is someone in the Pear Blossom courtyard monitoring us. Haha, that's excellent. Then tonight, we'll go to the Rui restaurant again. Princess, should we be more cautious to avoid unnecessary gossip? Don't be afraid. If we don't reveal some flaws, how can we expose the spy behind the scenes? At this time, in the East Courtyard, a matron was reporting to Ro. The crown princess was drunk last night and was sent back by a man. Today, she disguised herself and left the manor again. I heard she went to the same place as yesterday. Ro gave a sinister smile. Thank you for your hard work, matron. If you remain loyal, then your son will surely rise through the ranks in the palace. If not, well, you should know what will happen. This old servant understands. I will be completely loyal and will not breathe a single word. That's for the best. Attendants, help me wash up. I want to see His Highness, the Crown Prince. In the blink of an eye, the moon was high in the sky. Inside the tavern, the female lead and Longshan were drinking and chatting happily. The female lead held a fan and smiled faintly. I should take it easy with the wine tonight. I have to go back to my courtyard later to catch a spy. Interesting. Crown Princess, would you care to tell me about it? It's all just trivial matters of women scheming in the back courtyard. Not worth mentioning. I can't be bothered to talk about it. Also, don't call me Crown Princess anymore. Call me Naning. All my friends in the western regions call me that. Good wine with a good friend, 1,000 cups are still too few. After this drink, we'll be good friends from now on. After the drinking party ended, it was late at night. The female lead returned to the manor in high spirits. The crown prince's figure suddenly appeared before her. Yin Xiao, why are you here? Naning, you should first explain why you've only just returned. A friend's wife should not be coveted, and a brother's wife should not be trifled with. This time, the crown prince finally got a taste of what it feels like to be cheated on. The female lead went out late at night to drink and chat happily with the third prince. Upon returning to the manor, she ran right into the crown prince. Naning, you'd better explain why you've returned to the manor late at night, reeking of alcohol. The female lead let out a faint laugh. Crown Prince, instead of going to the east courtyard to sleep with your little sister, why are you here guarding the gate in the middle of the night? You have a nerve to ask? You know very well what you've done. The female lead paid him no mind. It seems the Crown Prince is here at the gate to enjoy the cool air. In that case, I won't disturb your refined mood. With a thud, the Crown Prince grabbed the female lead's wrist. I heard. The servants say you've been sneaking out in disguise these past few days. Where exactly have you been going? Oh, my dear Crown Prince, wherever did you get this news? I just happened to meet someone outside and, in my excitement, had a few too many drinks. What's wrong with that? Naning, I'm warning you. As the Crown Princess, for you to return to the manor late at night, reeking of alcohol, what has become of propriety? The female lead shook off the Crown Prince's hand. It seems there really is a spy from someone else in my Pear Blossom courtyard. I wonder who carelessly told the Crown Prince these things. One doesn't have to think to know. It must be the work of that Ro. The Crown Prince's aim was clear. It's not important who said it. What's important is that you watch your own behavior. Right. I am paying attention to my own behavior. I went out for a meal and unexpectedly rescued Gujin, the son of Scholar Gu. Scholar Gu is someone even the Emperor respects. Don't you think my behavior is worthy of your Highness's praise? The Crown Prince's face instantly soured. Naning, don't even think about using outsiders to deal with Ro. The Prime Minister's manor is not someone you can afford to provoke. What a joke. Why would I want to deal with Ro? If others don't mess with me, I won't mess with them. It's you who should manage your little concubine properly. Tell her not to provoke me again. If she annoys me, I might just decide to deal with her for real. With a graceful turn, the female lead said, Crown Prince, you should go back and keep your little concubine company, lest you be left to guard an empty room alone. The Crown Prince's face was filled with resentment, yet he was helpless. Naning, you're really something. In a flash, they were at the Pear Blossom courtyard. The female lead gave Shu'er a look. It's time to stage a good show of catching a ghost. Ro, this time you walked right into it yourself. Don't blame me for making a move. With a bang, the female lead pushed open the door. Attendants, her ladyship is drunk. Hurry over and serve her. The maid looked anxious. Her ladyship looks like she's going to be sick. Xiaochun, quickly go get a basin. No need. You help her ladyship change. I'll go get the sobering soup. After leaving the courtyard, Shuer looked around, then leaped onto the roof. Hee, you've finally shown your foxtail. A sudden scream came from the courtyard. The female lead's lips curved into a smile. It seems the plan worked. Xiaochun, go open the door and welcome our guest. Tonight, I'll put on a good show for all of you. In the main hall, the matron was tied up. This old servant is a veteran of the crown prince's manor. I was sent from the palace to serve her ladyship. How dare you treat me like this? Shuer, at the side, handed over a small note. Your ladyship, this was found on this old servant. Hee, go to Xingyun Pavilion and invite the crown prince over. The show is about to begin. The black-hearted white lotus is slapped in the face again, her conspiracy exposed on the spot. The female lead discovers that someone in the manor has been spying on her for days. So, she devises a small trick and exposes the spy, the matron. Shuer, go to Xingyun Pavilion and invite the crown prince over. Tonight, the crown prince's manor is destined to be restless. In a flash, the crown prince arrived at the Pear Blossom Hall. Naning, what is going on? You'd better give me a reasonable explanation, or I will not let you off lightly. The moment Matron Li saw the crown prince, she began to frantically proclaim her innocence. Your Highness, you must save this old servant. This old servant is truly innocent. Matron Li, don't be anxious. I will give you justice in a moment. The female lead approached the crown prince and curtsied obediently. Your Highness, a spy was planted in your subject's courtyard at some point. Your subject didn't know what to do, so I had to trouble your Highness to come and preside over this matter. The crown prince was furious inside. You, looking like this, is this how you ask me to preside over justice? It's clear you just wanted me to come and watch the good show you've arranged. Shuer presented the evidence from the floor to the crown prince. On a piece of paper was clearly written the female lead's whereabouts for the night, along with a thick stack of 100 taels and banknotes. Speak, Matron Li. How do you explain these things? Matron Li instantly broke out in a cold sweat, kowtowing desperately with several thuds. This old servant has been in the crown prince's manor for many years. Even if I have no merits, I have worked hard. I beg your highness to spare this old servant. The female lead let out a faint laugh. Matron Li, you really don't make any sense. Just confess honestly, who told you to spy on me? Recently, the matter of the remnants of the previous dynasty has been causing a stir in the capital. Could it be that Matron Li is connected to these remnants? If you really are a remnant of the previous dynasty, then I'm afraid not even the emperor can save you. Matron Li was instantly scared witless. Your ladyship, spare my life. This old servant is not some remnant of a previous dynasty. It was all. Ooh, sister, it's so lively here. Inro's voice suddenly came from behind. Matron Li was instantly too scared to speak. Inro stared intently at Matron Li. Oh my, isn't this Matron Li? Why are you kneeling on the floor? Inro's appearance scared Matron Li so much that she collapsed weakly on the ground. Then, she slowly began to speak. It was a masked man at the east gate who ordered it. Even if you kill me, I don't know who it was. The female lead chuckled. Well, little sister, your timing is impeccable. I was thinking it was the east courtyard. I almost misunderstood you. Inro looked innocent. It's good that sister didn't misunderstand. But if sister insists on saying it was the east courtyard, your little sister will have no complaints. At this point, the crown prince stepped in to smooth things over. Enough. Considering Matron Li is a long-serving member of the manor, we'll just expel you from the manor this time. Matron Li kowtowed in gratitude, though unwillingly. Thank you, your highness, for your mercy. The female lead turned and took the banknotes from Shuer's hand. This is quite a lot of money. With a rustle, the banknotes were tossed into the air. Since you are not fated to enjoy it, let's distribute it among the servants of our Pear Blossom courtyard. The crown prince flicked his sleeves and turned to leave. Your Pear Blossom courtyard is always so much trouble. In a flash, they were at the east courtyard. A maid was serving Inro tea. Your ladyship, don't be angry. Have some tea to cool down. With a crash, the teacup was smashed on the maid's face. You useless servants are all a bunch of trash. The maid knelt on the ground, trembling. Your ladyship, rest assured, Matron Li will definitely not see tomorrow's sun. Inro's face was filled with resentment. Naning, we have a long road ahead of us. Don't get complacent too soon. running into your own husband while visiting a brothel. What kind of experience is that? After the female lead set a trap and caught Ro's spy, the Pear Blossom Courtyard was much more peaceful for a while. It seems your ladyship's tactic of making an example of one to warn others was very effective. Now, no maid dares to be presumptuous. Let's go, Shuer. It's time to make a trip to Anxiang Pavilion and see if Miss Shueji has returned. In a flash, they were at Anxiang Pavilion. The girls were as enthusiastic as ever. After learning from the madam that Shueji had disappeared, a question arose in the female lead's mind. Could it be that this Shueji has other contacts? If she has other contacts, it means there are other forces behind her. But if that's the case, why did she die a miserable death on the streets in her past life? What is the secret hidden within all this? Forget it. Madam, prepare the best seat for me. I heard you have the best songstress from the Western regions here. I must broaden my horizons. In Anxiang Pavilion, there was singing and dancing. The songstress from the Western regions danced with the wind. Such a beautiful scene mesmerized the guests. Looking at the embarrassed Shuer, the female lead couldn't help but tease, how about we book all these young ladies for the night? The female lead's heart suddenly skipped a beat. Could the person opposite be Yin Xiao? At that moment, the crown prince also turned to look at the female lead. Naning, what are you doing here looking for fun? The female lead hid behind her fan. I ran into my own husband while visiting a brothel. How awkward is this? Time to go. Just as the female lead was about to get up, with a thud, a dart flew towards her. Shuer instantly drew her sword to block the knife-wielding man. Be careful. There's an assassin hidden in the crowd. Princess, leave this place quickly. I'll hold them off. The female lead looked panicked. Shuer, you must be careful. We'll meet back at the crown prince's manor. Another assassin charged out from the side. Naning, you betrayed the Western regions. Today is the day you die. With a clang, the crown prince shielded the female lead. Stay behind me and don't move. The crown prince's eyes were sharp. Naning is the crown princess of our great Jean. How can there be any talk of betrayal? I think you are the ones who have betrayed the Western regions. A third assassin lunged with a knife. The crown prince dodged and cut him down. Bright red blood splattered everywhere. The female lead's tense nerves were stimulated again. Painful memories from her past life flooded her mind. No. Yin Xiao. The crown prince grabbed the female lead's hand. Naning, what's wrong? Seeing the crown prince, the female lead struggled even more desperately. Yin Xiao, I hate you. I will never forgive you in this lifetime. Never. The female lead's words stunned the crown prince. Naning, stop killing. Stop. Everyone stop. Looking at the female lead crouching on the ground, trembling, a pang of sorrow hit the crown prince's heart. Xiao Ran, let them go. Immediately, take her ladyship back to the manor and take good care of her. Find a doctor to see if her ladyship is injured. The scene changes. In the Pear Blossom Courtyard, the doctor reports to the crown prince. Her ladyship's condition is caused by a knot in her heart. After being stimulated, she fell into a nightmare. A knot in her heart? Are you sure? Absolutely certain. And this knot has caused her ladyship deep harm, making it impossible for her to let go. The crown prince recalled the words the female lead had shouted at him in Anxiang Pavilion, his heart full of doubt. Could this not be related to me? At this moment, the female lead slowly opened her eyes. Seeing that the female lead was safe, the crown prince turned to leave. Take good care of the crown princess. No one is allowed to disturb her, including the concubine. After the crown prince left, the female lead slowly spoke. Shuer, are there any leads on the assassins? The situation is still unclear. We only know that these assassins are all experts from the Western regions. The female lead's brow furrowed. Experts from the Western regions? Inro doesn't have that kind of power. Could be that group of people? By the way, princess, the palace sent over the ceremonial robe. It's now in the back courtyard. Do we need to assign more people to guard it? The ceremonial robe. In my past life, because I was injured and disabled, and the ceremonial robe was inexplicably destroyed, the investiture ceremony was never held. It seems this life is different. It's fine, Shu. Just leave the ceremonial robe in the back courtyard. We need to create opportunities for certain people. The female lead's eyes instantly turned sinister and sharp. Inro, it's time we settled things. Hoist by her own petard. This black-hearted white lotus has really stumbled this time. To settle the score with Inro, the female lead used the ceremonial robe for the investiture ceremony as bait. As expected, Inro obediently took the bait. Princess, there's a problem with the ceremonial robe. After last night, the robe was destroyed by someone. It looks like the person who did it was quite ruthless. I wonder how much jealousy they hold for me in their heart. A maid from his side came forward to report. Your ladyship, His Highness the Crown Prince, and the concubine are here to see you. Hee, Inro. Oh, Inro. You really are impatient, but you've miscalculated this time. Inro was seen slowly approaching with the crown prince, the housekeeper, and the matron. Sister, I just heard that something happened in your pear blossom hall. Is there anything your little sister can do to help? The female lead looked disdainful. The ceremonial robe for my investiture ceremony has been torn to shreds by someone. It seems it can no longer be used. The crown prince's brow furrowed. What on earth is going on? Inro feigned concern. Oh my, sister, how could you be so careless? If the emperor finds out about this, I'm afraid the entire crown prince's manor will be implicated. The housekeeper matron began to scold loudly. How can we allow such a thing to happen in the crown prince's manor? Where are the maids who were on duty last night? You are all simply audacious. Now that there's a problem with this robe, I think even beheading you wouldn't be enough to take responsibility. Facing the housekeeper matron's baseless accusations, the maids looked aggrieved. Matron, this robe was delivered last night. Besides those in the pear blossom courtyard, only you, the housekeeper, and the little eunuch on duty knew about it. With a slap, the housekeeper matron's hand came down hard. How dare you? You dare talk back? You have no sense of hierarchy. It's because of unruly servants like you in the pear blossom courtyard that things like this happen. The housekeeper matron wanted to strike again, but the female lead grabbed her wrist. When did it become your turn, you dog of a slave, to be so insolent in my pear blossom courtyard? Do you still have a crown prince and me in your eyes? With a slap, the female lead struck the housekeeper's face hard. Get to the side. After being slapped by the female lead, the housekeeper cowered like a dog. Meanwhile, Inro behind her started to cry. Your Highness, the investiture ceremony is imminent. I don't know what we should do. The crown prince's brow was deeply furrowed. All right, Naning, tell me your thoughts on this matter. The female lead rolled her eyes. Tell her to shut her mouth first. Her crying is giving me a headache. All right, Inro, stop crying for now. Let's first hear how the crown princess will handle this. Inro started her whimpering again. Your subject will listen to whatever your highness says. Your highness is my sky, my earth. Even if your highness says this matter is your subject's fault, your subject will have no regrets. Ugh, that green tea-flavored whiny tone of yours is making me sick. The female lead was seen taking out a poisonous scorpion from the western regions from her sleeve. This little scorpion is one of my pets. Last night, on a whim, it went to sleep on the ceremonial robe. If anyone disturbed it, they might have been stung by its poisonous stinger. In the past, some clueless maids touched my things and got stung. Later, because they didn't have my antidote, they rotted all over and died. Hearing this, the matron was shocked, clutching her right hand as she collapsed weakly to the ground. The female lead let out a faint laugh. Oh my, housekeeper matron, why are you sitting on the floor, trying to steal a chicken only to lose the rice? This black-hearted white lotus was slapped in the face by the female lead again. The black-hearted white lotus designed to ruin the female lead's ceremonial robe, but unexpectedly, the female lead anticipated her move. With a counter scheme, she took down the housekeeper matron directly. Anyone stung by my little scorpion will rot all over and die. After hearing this, the housekeeper matron collapsed weakly to the ground, clutching the wound on her right hand and trembling. The female lead let out a faint laugh. Oh my, housekeeper matron, why are you sitting on the floor? Oh dear, why is your hand all purple and bruised? Could it be that you were the one who destroyed this robe? The housekeeper matron was instantly drenched in sweat. No, it wasn't me. I didn't do such a thing. Then she glanced sideways at Inro, her eyes pleading for help. Unexpectedly, Inro immediately avoided her gaze, looking ahead as if nothing had happened. The housekeeper matron looked on in disbelief. Damn it, I licked the boot, but it had a blade on it. The female lead chuckled. It seems you are nothing but a dog abandoned by its master. I wonder if your master has already become a coward and hidden away. Speaking of which, you dared to ruin a royal ceremonial robe. That's a crime punishable by beheading. The matron instantly kowtowed like pounding garlic. Your ladyship, spare my life. This old servant will never dare again. No, no, no. It's useless no matter how much you kowtow. But if you can confess who the mastermind is, I might spare your life. Hearing this, Inro immediately executed a tactical feint. Oh dear, my period has come, and I suddenly feel dizzy. I must return to the east courtyard to rest. The female lead burst out laughing. Little sister, why do you always feign at such a critical moment? Can you actually control the switch for your period? If word of this gets out, people might misunderstand and think you're the mastermind. The crown prince at the side already understood everything clearly. Attendants, escort the concubine back to the east courtyard to rest. The housekeeper matron has committed insubordination. Throw her into the death prison, to be dealt with accordingly. After Inro left, the female lead stared at the crown prince unwillingly. Yin Xiao, your favoritism towards Inro is truly undisguised. I originally thought you were here to watch a show. I didn't expect you to use my hand to get rid of that housekeeper matron. A fight between women, and in the end, you, the crown prince, became the biggest beneficiary. The crown prince let out a faint laugh. What a joke. Why would I want to get rid of my own housekeeper? There's no benefit in it for me. Do you really think this princess doesn't know? That housekeeper isn't just someone from the east courtyard. More importantly, the one in the palace is her true master. The crown prince's eyes instantly turned sharp. Naning, it turns out you are much smarter than I imagined. But let me also remind you, don't let your cleverness be your own undoing. I'd like to see how you plan to repair this robe. If you beg me now, I might help you. You should know that besides me, no one can help you. You don't need to worry about that, Your Highness. The scene changes. On the street, the female lead now looked vexed. I was too proud just now, refusing his help out of spite. What am I going to do now? The craftsmanship of this robe is unique to the palace. Besides the palace embroiderers, no one can really fix it. Do I really have to bow my head to him? In her frustration, the female lead casually kicked a pebble at her feet. The pebble happened to hit young Master Longshan in front of her. What the? I haven't seen you for a few days, and you're already using me as a living target, Linga? The female lead looked at Longshan with a gloomy face. What a coincidence to run into you here. Unexpectedly, Longshan came up and gave her a head pat. My dear, what happened? Tell me about it. Nothing is more delicious than dumplings, and nothing is more beautiful than a sister-in-law. This third prince is really not holding back with his own sister-in-law. Just as the female lead was agonizing over how to repair the robe, the third prince, Longshan, suddenly appeared before her. Seeing the female lead's sorrowful face, Longshan unexpectedly reached out and gave her a head pat. My dear, why the unhappy face? Tell me about it. The female lead also looked obedient. My ceremonial robe was ruined by the housekeeper. Now I have a headache trying to figure out how to fix it. So that's what it is. Why don't you give the robe to me? I'll ask a friend in the palace to find an embroiderer to see if it can be fixed. That's not very appropriate, is it? If anyone else in the palace finds out, I'm afraid there will be gossip. Don't worry, I'll handle everything. I'll make sure only the embroiderer knows about this. Then I thank you. But what is your identity, really? To have such great abilities. Young Master Longshan smiled without a word. With a graceful turn, he said, let's go. We'll go to the Crown Prince's manor now and get your ceremonial robe for me. The female lead's heart was full of doubt. It seems this Longshan's identity is really not simple. I just don't know if he is a friend or foe. In a flash, they were at the Pear Blossom courtyard. With a bang, the door was kicked open. The Crown Prince strode into the room menacingly. Naning, I heard reports that you gave the ceremonial robe to someone else. How do you explain this? Do you know that if this robe is in someone else's hands and something happens, it's not a responsibility you can bear? Hearing this, the female lead was also furious. Your subject has already found someone to repair the robe. This matter no longer requires the Crown Prince's concern. Is your highness so angry because I didn't ask for your help? Naning, you are being utterly ridiculous. What someone is worthy of such trust from you? This matter is of great importance. With a crash, the female lead slammed her cup and stood up. Or have I been ridiculous? Your subject is, after all, a princess of the western regions. Even if something goes wrong, if the emperor doesn't consider my face, he must consider the face of my father, the king of the western regions. Now the crown prince can rest assured, right? The crown prince was seething with anger. Naning, don't you be too arrogant. If something unexpected happens with this matter, I will definitely not take responsibility for you. What humph? I'll humph right back at you. I won't see you out. After the crown prince left, the female lead suddenly looked aggrieved. As if you've ever taken responsibility for me, for anything. The scene changes. 3 days later, the female lead was in the garden playing with her poisonous scorpion. Today, I'll take you little guy out to sunbathe. Shure approached, carrying the ceremonial robe. Princess, this is the ceremonial robe that young Master Long sent someone to deliver to the manor. The female lead's eyes lit up after seeing it. Oh my, the craftsmanship of the palace embroiderers is truly impeccable. In just 3 days, they've restored the robe to look brand new. After looking at it, Shure's face was full of doubt. Princess, what is this young Master Long's identity? To have such great ability. Yes, asking him to help repair the robe was also to investigate his true identity. It's just that we still don't know if he is a friend or foe. A delicate and soft voice suddenly came from behind. Oh, what a coincidence. So sister is also here in the lotus garden admiring the flowers. A wave of disgust instantly rose in the female lead's heart. Is this black-hearted white lotus here to cause trouble again? Using a white lotus's tone to counter a white lotus. Female lead, your move is truly creative. Just as the female lead was admiring the restored ceremonial robe, that white lotus, In-Ro, suddenly arrived uninvited. Oh my, so sister is here. You're in such a good mood. The female lead sneered in her heart. Are you part dog? You came as soon as you smelled something. Yes, little sister. The weather is nice today, so I came to the lotus garden to sit for a while. My little scorpion also wanted to sunbathe. In-Ro remembered the housekeeper's appearance a few days ago, and a chill ran down her spine. Haha, sister's really joking. After calming down, In-Ro began her award-winning performance again. Sister, for you to find someone to fix the robe in such a short time, it seems sister is really good at socializing. Hee hee, you green tea. The moment you open your mouth, you're implying I'm unchaste. Your words are really full of hidden meanings. By the way, sister, I wonder which noble person helped our crown prince's manor so much. Could sister tell me? Your little sister must thank her properly. An idea suddenly struck the female lead. She began to mimic In-Ro's green tea-flavored whiny tone. Oh my, little sister is really joking. How could I know such a capable person? It was all because His Highness the Crown Prince dotes on me and hurriedly found the best embroiderer in the palace. Speaking of which, our crown prince is really impatient. I was thinking of dealing with this in a few months, but who knew His Highness kept bringing it up. And just like that, the robe was fixed and delivered today. This green tea speech from the female lead made In-Ro tremble with anger, yet she had to maintain a calm and composed look on her face. How could it be His Highness the Crown Prince? Oh my, as little sister Qiao said, it's only natural for His Highness to dote on his beloved consort. Speaking of which, these past few days when His Highness came to my Pear Blossom Hall, his affectionate and sweet manner really made this sister a little shy. After hearing this, In-Ro forced a bitter smile from the corner of her mouth. So, sister and His Highness's relationship has already become so intimate. Seeing this, the female lead chuckled. Oh my, why am I telling my little sister these things? Just pretend you didn't hear it, okay? Sister is joking. Isn't your little sister also happy for you? At this moment, a eunuch suddenly came to report. By order of the Empress Dowager, the crown princess is to enter the palace immediately to prepare for the investiture ceremony rehearsal. Oh, little sister, you see, it must be that our prince couldn't wait and had the Empress Dowager rush me into the palace. Little sister, you can just stay here and cool off. After the female lead left, In-Ro was already trembling with anger. Naining, you vixen, you are truly hateful. In a flash, they were in the inner palace. The Empress Dowager and the Crown Prince were having a heart-to-heart talk. Shower, the Crown Princess has been in your manor for some days now. Are you satisfied with her? The Crown Prince's face was impassive. Imperial Grandmother, your grandson will try his best not to dislike her. AI, they say the Imperial family is the most heartless. Your father, for the sake of our great Jin's future, had no choice. It's just been hard on you, my grandson. A matron from the side came forward to report. Your Majesty, the Empress Dowager, the Crown Princess is waiting outside the hall. Hearing this, the Crown Prince's brow furrowed deeply. The Empress Dowager saw this and understood everything. For failing to protect the ceremonial robe, the crown princess is punished to kneel outside the hall for 2 hours. Her beauty faded in the last life, but in this life, she stands above all. The female lead's journey has truly been perilous every step of the way. Just after the female lead was summoned to the palace by the Empress Dowager, on the grounds of failing to protect the ceremonial robe, punished the female lead to kneel for 2 hours. Hearing this, the female lead's heart trembled. Then she obediently knelt and thanked the Empress Dowager for her grace. 2 hours later, the Empress Dowager finally spoke slowly. "Do you know why I punished you?" Replying to the Empress Dowager, "Your granddaughter-in-law knows she failed to protect the ceremonial robe." The Empress Dowager's punishment is just. The Empress Dowager kindly helped the female lead up. "Child, that is only one of the reasons. The other is that you failed to protect yourself, giving others an opportunity. You must know that some harm can lead to eternal damnation." Hearing this, the female lead was shocked. Then, with tears in her eyes, she rehearsed, "Your granddaughter-in-law understands the Empress Dowager's good intentions. From now on, I will respectfully follow the Empress Dowager's teachings." In a flash, it was the day of the investiture. The female lead, in her magnificent attire, was breathtakingly beautiful. A woman so beautiful she must have come from the heavens, rarely seen in the mortal world. The female lead's beauty completely outshone Rose. When the crown prince saw the female lead, he was momentarily lost in a daze, his Adam's apple bobbing involuntarily. Seeing this, the female lead chuckled. "Your Highness, why not spend more time with little sister Ro? I imagine little sister Ro must be in a poor mood today." Sharp-tongued. "I didn't come here today to argue with you." The crown prince extended his large hand. "Let's go, crown princess. The ceremony is about to begin." The female lead's eyes instantly became sharp. "Yes, your highness. Your subject obeys." The moment the female lead placed her hand on the crown prince's, he couldn't help but feel a tremor in his heart. A flicker of imperceptible joy crossed his brow. At the ceremony, all the officials paid their respects. A red carpet was slowly unrolled. The crown prince and the female lead, with an air of majesty, seemed as if they were about to rule the world. "All ministers, you may dispense with the formalities and rise." As she stepped onto the Taiji Hall, the female lead had mixed feelings. "Finally, I have reached this step. My beauty faded in the last life, but in this life, I stand above all. This journey has truly been perilous every step of the way. But the real show of this ceremony is just beginning." In a flash, they were inside the Taiji Hall. The eunuch read the imperial edict to invest the princess of the western regions, Nanning, as the first-rank imperial crown princess and bestow upon her the golden Surin seal. After the female lead expressed her gratitude, the emperor signaled for the banquet to begin. The eunuch beside him loudly announced for the ministers to take their seats. As the female lead gracefully walked to her seat, Ro behind her wore a sinister smile. "Nanning, in a moment, it will be time to watch you make a fool of yourself. As long as you sit in that seat of the honored consort Rome, your future in this harem will be fraught with difficulties." Unexpectedly, the female lead walked forward gracefully and took out a treasure box from her sleeve. "Your Majesty, this is a token that my father, the king of the western regions, had your son's wife bring. It symbolizes 100 years of friendship between the western regions and the Central Plains." The emperor was very pleased after seeing the token. "This jade seal is truly a rare treasure. I will send my thanks to the Khan of the western regions. You may take your seat to the right of the crown prince." Ro's face showed her displeasure as her scheme failed. "Damn that Nanning. I was outsmarted by you." The crown prince beside her gave a faint smile. "You're clever enough not to bring shame upon me." "Haha, I'm sorry to have worried you, your highness." The crown prince was seen pushing a plate of fresh shrimp in front of the female lead. Here. These are red shrimp tribute from the West Sea. Hard and shelled, suitable for your sharp tongue." The female lead rolled her eyes. Well, thank you very much, your highness." Opposite them, Ro was already grinding her teeth in anger. When did his highness and Nanning's relationship become so intimate? Ro's father, Prime Minister suddenly spoke up. "I have heard that women from the western regions are skilled in singing and dancing. I wonder if we might have the pleasure of seeing the crown princess's dance today?" The crown prince's eyes instantly glinted with cold light. "Old fool, I knew you would come to stir up trouble. Hoist by his own petard." That one sentence from Prime Minister ended up causing great trouble for his own daughter. Just after the investiture ceremony banquet began, Prime Minister Een, feigning drunkenness, publicly asked the female lead to dance for entertainment. Hearing this, the crown prince's eyes instantly glinted with cold light. Old fool, you truly have no respect for me. Scholar Gu at the side spoke sternly. Prime Minister, how can you be so frivolous? Princess Naning is the current imperial princess and our great Jin's future empress. Is the future empress's dance something you and I can presume to watch? Prime Minister Een was displeased after hearing this. I was just making a joke. Why must Scholar Gu be so serious? Young Master Gu Jin gave the female lead a supportive thumbs up from across the room. The female lead responded with a smile. So this is Scholar Gu, truly a loyal official dedicated to the country. It seems that in this life, Scholar Gu will no longer be constrained by this Prime Minister Een. The female lead suddenly asked, feigning ignorance. I don't yet know which official this is before me. The eunuch beside her answered in a low voice. This is Prime Minister Een, the father of the concubine. Hearing this, the female lead let out a faint laugh. Oh my, so it's the father of the crown prince's concubine. My apologies for the disrespect. When she said the word concubine, the female lead deliberately raised her voice by 2 pitches. Inro had a bad feeling. Is that Naning up to some trick again? The female lead was seen suddenly bursting into laughter. So Prime Minister Een is so fond of dancing. I heard long ago that the Prime Minister's beloved daughter, Inro, also performed a dance in a tavern, which is how she caught the Crown Prince's eye and ended up marrying into the Crown Prince's manor as a concubine. It seems Prime Minister Een is truly a good teacher. As soon as these words were spoken, the crowd burst into laughter. Just as the Crown Princess said, Prime Minister Yin's hobby has found its use. Prime Minister Yin's old face instantly felt a bit disgraced. He was burning with anger, but couldn't show it. Inro, on the other hand, was utterly embarrassed. Father, you really shouldn't set up your daughter like this. The female lead suddenly stood up. Since everyone is in such a refined mood, it would be rude of me to spoil it. However, the dances of us desert children contain a certain bloodiness, completely different from those of tavern dancers. I just don't know if Prime Minister Een will be able to get used to it. Reporting to Imperial Father, Naning is willing to perform a dance to pray for peace in the world. I asked for Imperial Father's permission for your daughter-in-law to go and change. The Emperor nodded in approval. Granted. A moment later, the sound of a zither slowly began to play, like a gentle breeze rustling through willows. The female lead appeared in a simple red dress, holding a long sword and dancing with the wind. The sword was like a water sleeve, light and agile. Her body was like a flying swallow, riding the wind. The crown prince was already mesmerized. So Naning has such a skill. The female lead suddenly looked at Inro with sharp eyes. Inro, you'd better watch my sword dance closely. This dance is called Peace Under Heaven, and you will forever be just a songstress in a tavern for men's entertainment. The zither music suddenly took a sharp turn, like a sudden, violent storm. The long sword in her hand split into 2, its cold light pointing to the heavens. The female lead suddenly let out a soft hum, a flash of killing intent in her eyes. The long sword in her hand suddenly pointed at Prime Minister Een. Old fool, let's see if I can't handle you. The female lead flew forward, a lunge with the sword's tip aimed straight at Prime Minister Yin's throat. Inro was instantly scared out of her wits. Oh, father, to openly commit misdeeds in front of the emperor, this white lotus Inro is truly audacious. During the banquet of the investiture ceremony, Prime Minister Een, feigning drunkenness, openly provoked, "May I ask the crown princess to dance for us?" Unexpectedly, the female lead readily agreed. After a dance, the female lead lunged with her sword, the tip aimed straight at Prime Minister Yin's throat. Prime Minister Een was instantly scared and trembling. In the grand hall of the ceremony, Crown Princess, what are you trying to do? The female lead's eyes showed a cold light. It seems Prime Minister Een is not drunk after all. He still knows a long sword is coming at him. Then she chuckled. Prime Minister, don't be afraid. I was just joking with you. Please don't take offense, Prime Minister. The female lead turned, knelt, and bowed to the emperor. For today's ceremony, your daughter-in-law has specially brought a unique treasure from the western regions for Imperial Father, a fair Ghana horse. The horse has already been placed outside the hall. The emperor readily agreed. Good. I have long heard of the Fergana horse. I would truly like to see it for myself. The female lead glanced at Een Ro at the side, then called over a maid and whispered something. What new trick is this White Lotus up to? Then she turned and said softly to the Crown Prince, Crown Prince, my beloved concubines may just left suddenly. Do you know why? The Crown Prince hummed softly. What are you trying to say? You seem to have something more to say. I am just kindly reminding your highness. This is the investiture ceremony. If your beloved concubine causes any trouble, do you think the emperor will not place blame? Opposite them, Een Ro's face was filled with resentment. Well, Nanning dares to openly flirt with my crown prince. In a flash, they were outside the main hall. A neigh echoed through the sky. Everyone who heard it was moved. Truly a Fergana horse, rare in this world. Such a magnificent sight is truly a rare find. A scent suddenly drifted by with the wind. Upon smelling it, the Fergana horse instantly lost control. It broke free from the guard's reins and charged towards the emperor. But the emperor remained calm, his sharp eyes fixed ahead. In the nick of time, the female lead grabbed the Fergana horse's reins, leaped up, and mounted its back. The crown prince suddenly shouted, Nanning, it's dangerous. Don't come over. I can subdue this Fergana horse. The female lead was seen pulling out 3 silver needles from her waist and striking the Fergana horse's neck with her palm. The Fergana horse let out a neigh and then fell to the ground, motionless. The female lead came forward and bowed. Imperial father, the Fergana horse suddenly went mad. Your daughter-in-law thinks there is something suspicious. Just now on the horse's back, your daughter-in-law smelled the scent of windgrass. The horse has now fainted. We just need to wait for it to wake up. The emperor sternly ordered, investigate. This matter must be thoroughly investigated for me. Then he turned to the crown prince. Chower, for the crown princess to have such courage is a blessing for our great Jean. You must cherish her well in the future and not let her down. Yes, imperial father, your son will respectfully follow your teachings. As Een Ro walked past the two of them, a familiar scent suddenly wafted over. Hee, your highness, your little concubine is truly audacious. You should have smelled that scent of windgrass just now, right? If the emperor finds out about this, what do you think his reaction will be? What? Are you threatening me now? Not at all. I'm just telling your highness that you have another piece of leverage that has fallen into my hands. The scene changes. In the imperial garden, the investiture ceremony has ended. The female lead is resting alone in the garden with her eyes closed. It seems I still can't get used to the oppressive atmosphere of the imperial palace. A familiar voice suddenly sounded from behind. Nanning, why are you here? Do you know what double happiness is? It's when you have 2 beautiful sisters-in-law at the same time. Just after the investiture ceremony ended, the female lead was relaxing alone in the imperial garden. At this moment, young Master Longshan walked over from the side, his eyes wandering elsewhere. When their eyes met, the atmosphere instantly became awkward. Longshan, why are you in this imperial garden? Longshan suddenly looked troubled. Actually, I am. He is the 3rd prince, Yen Xian, my imperial younger brother. The crown prince's voice suddenly sounded from behind. What? He's also one of the princes? Seeing her reaction, the crown prince's face was teasing. What? Don't you believe me? Then why can he come and go freely in this imperial palace? Seeing the female lead's shocked face, the crown prince continued to mock her. Seeing my beloved consort's expression, you seem very shocked. Could he be the someone you mentioned? Ninger, I had no choice. Please let me explain. The female lead sighed softly, her eyes full of disappointment. Although I had guessed at your various identities, I never expected you to be the 3rd prince. Yen Xian, since it is so, from now on, I must trouble your highness the 3rd prince to address me respectfully as imperial sister-in-law. The 3rd prince wanted to step forward and explain. The female lead waved her red sleeve. Please have some self-respect, 3rd prince. Watching the female lead's departing figure, the 3rd prince shouted after her, Sister-in-law, don't be angry. Whatever you ask for in the future, I, Yen Xian, will do my utmost to fulfill it. Seeing this, the crown prince sternly rebuked him. Although they say nothing is more delicious than dumplings, and nothing is more beautiful than a sister-in-law, Yen Xiao, I'm warning you to stay away from my sister-in-law. The 3rd prince was momentarily stunned. You're spouting nonsense here again. Oh, I wonder which sister-in-law Imperial brother is talking about. Is it this mature, queenly sister-in-law, or that cute, lowly sister-in-law? Your younger brother is a bit confused. I advise you to watch yourself. Watching the crown prince and the female lead leave together, the third prince fell into deep thought. The crown prince seems to be particularly concerned about this princess from the western regions. On the way back to the crown prince's manor, the crown prince was the first to attack. How does it feel to be deceived by your so-called good friend? It must not feel good. The female lead gave a cold laugh. So His Highness the Crown Prince also cares about the Crown Princess? That's really rare. With a crash, the Crown Prince directly cornered her against the wall. Naining, why are your words towards me always so barbed? I am your husband, after all. Why can't your tone of voice towards me be a little more peaceful? With a slap, the female lead pushed away the Crown Prince's hand. Husband? May I ask if your highness has ever fulfilled the duties of a husband? From a moment, I stepped into the Crown Prince's manor. Your highness has treated me with cold indifference. Why should I be the one to be overly sentimental? Since your highness is only devoted to little sister Een Ro of the East Courtyard, then don't ask me to love you as a husband. The Crown Prince, knowing he was in the wrong, was suddenly speechless. Forget it. I was just saying. The female lead was not polite. Yin Xiao, think about it yourself. Aren't the words you're saying a bit ridiculous? The Crown Prince's eyes were now full of sorrow. Sorry, I spoke too much. The female lead wanted to attack again, but at this moment, the Crown Prince had tactically closed his eyes, completely ignoring her. You sure fall asleep fast at a time like this. With a thud, the Crown Prince grabbed the female lead's wrist. Naining, don't think I can't see anything just because my eyes are closed. With a loud, panic bang, a violent jolt from the carriage suddenly hit. The female lead threw herself onto the Crown Prince. As their eyes met, both their hearts began to race, their faces flushing red. A subtle feeling blossomed in each other's hearts. Inger, I'm ready. Come on up. Do you know how to make a green tea girl? So angry she beat her chest and stomped her feet? That is to learn her tricks and use them to flirt with her man. Just as the female lead and the Crown Prince were arguing in the carriage, a sudden jolt caused the female lead to fall directly onto the Crown Prince. Their hearts instantly sped up, their faces blushing like peach blossoms. The Crown Prince, his heart stirring, closed his eyes slightly, preparing to receive the impact from the female lead. Xiao Ran from outside the carriage suddenly reported. Reporting to your highness, we have arrived at the Crown Prince's manor. Lady Ro is waiting outside the gate. The Crown Prince's eyes darkened. Xiao Ran, damn you. The female lead suddenly had an idea. Hee, little sister Een Ro's timing is just perfect. The female lead was seen taking off her hair clasp, then loosening her clothes, looking for all the world like a great battle had just ended. The Crown Prince was instantly bewildered. Naining, what are you trying to do now? The female lead waved her small hand. Your highness, don't be impatient. You'll know in a moment. Then she turned back with a smile. Thank you for your hospitality, your highness. After getting out of the carriage, the female lead pretended to be exhausted. Een Ro was also bewildered. How can one get so tired just from riding in a carriage? Seeing this, the female lead chuckled. Oh, little sister is so considerate, waiting for his highness at the main gate so early. Een Ro was still full of questions. Sister, why are your clothes so disheveled? The female lead smiled shyly. Oh my, it's all his highness's fault for being too eager. He insisted on experiencing my happiness, and we almost overturned the carriage just now. Speaking of which, our prince is truly like a wolf, powerful and wealthy. That thing, like a steel bar, was really too much for this sister to handle. It really makes this sister feel shy. Little sister, please don't laugh. As soon as these words were spoken, Een Ro trembled with anger. Damn it, she even knows this move? I haven't even learned it yet. With a slip, the Crown Prince almost fell after hearing that. Xiao Ran quickly steadied the Crown Prince. The Crown Prince was instantly embarrassed. Xiao Ran, on the other hand, was sweating profusely. I wonder if it's too late for me to pretend to be deaf and blind right now. The Crown Prince flicked his sleeve. Let go of me. Ugh, I'm just trying to do my job. The pay isn't much, but the trouble is endless. Why must you make things so difficult for me? The Crown Prince cleared his throat to resolve the awkwardness. Unexpectedly, the female lead added more fuel to the fire. You brute, you've almost worn me out completely, without any care for whether I live or die. You really don't know how to cherish a woman. Then she looked at Een Ro with a provocative gaze. This sister needs to go back to the Pear Blossom courtyard to rest well. Little sister must take good care of his highness for me. Ro felt as if she had been dealt a heavy blow. After the main course, I'm being told to wash the pots and dishes. Naning, you bitch, you are too hateful. After the female lead left, Ro looked displeased and called out weakly, Your Highness. What's wrong? Are you feeling unwell, or were you too worried during the investiture ceremony? Hearing the hidden meaning in the crown prince's words, Ro was instantly alarmed. Your subject is fine. I just suddenly feel dizzy. The crown prince immediately turned to leave. Since you're fine, then go back and rest early. I have official business to attend to, so I won't accompany you. Ro tried her tactical feint again. Oh dear, my period, your period my foot. Xiao Ran, go to the palace and summon the imperial physician to give a lady a good checkup, to see what kind of period can be so intermittent. After the crown prince left, just as the maid was about to help her up, with a slap, Ro struck her hard across the face. Your Highness, how could you do this to me? Naning, I'll make sure you die without a burial place. The scene changes. In the pear blossom garden, the female lead was enjoying the cool air alone under the moon. The crown prince was seen striding over, a hint of a wicked smile in his eyes. I wonder what business brings your highness to my pear blossom courtyard. The crown prince suddenly moved forward and pressed down on the female lead. Yin Xiao, what are you trying to do? What goes around comes around. This black-hearted white lotus finally got a taste of her own medicine. After teasing Ro, the female lead returned to the pear blossom courtyard to rest. At this moment, the sound of footsteps came from outside the door. Oh, your highness, what brings you to my pear blossom courtyard at this hour? It seems you're living quite a comfortable life. Before the female lead could react, the crown prince leaned over and pinned her to the chair. Yin Xiao, what on earth do you want? The crown prince smiled faintly. As your husband, even if I do something to you, it would be perfectly reasonable, wouldn't it? The crown prince was seen suddenly pulling out a command token from his hand. Forget it. I won't tease you anymore. Haven't you always wanted this command token? Now it's yours. What? Why are you suddenly giving me the command token for the crown prince's manor? The crown prince suddenly became hesitant. It's nothing. Just a reward for you not embarrassing the crown prince's manor today. Oh my, if that's the case, then I really must thank your highness. Suddenly, a gentle breeze blew past, and the wind chimes on the eaves made a crisp sound. The air was filled with a hint of romance. The crown prince looked at the female lead with deep affection and said unexpectedly, You looked really beautiful in the ceremonial robe today. The female lead was momentarily stunned, her cheeks flushing with a hint of shyness. The atmosphere instantly became somewhat ambiguous. Reporting to your highness. A guest has arrived. Xiao Ran, that brilliant man, once again inserted himself at the perfect moment. Fine, I know. Xiao Ran, you really have no sense of timing at all. The crown prince turned to leave in a huff. The female lead couldn't resist a parting shot. Your highness, remember to spend more time with little sister Ro. Naning, let's see how long you can keep up this tough act. In a flash, they were at Xingyun Pavilion. The crown prince's spy reported, Your highness, as per your instructions, I have investigated. Since the crown princess married into the manor, she has had no contact with the palace. Could it be that I was overthinking it? Continue investigating. I want to know her relationship with Xueji. Understood. Also, regarding the Fergana horse incident yesterday, on the surface, it seems to be the work of the concubine. But in reality, Prime Minister added other drugs to the beehive, which caused the horse to charge at the emperor. Moreover, Prime Minister has recently been in close contact with a faction from the western regions that advocates for war. With a bang, the crown prince slammed his fist on the table. Old fool, your ambition is really not small. What a brilliant move of borrowing a knife to kill someone. I didn't expect you to be so impatient as to use your own daughter as a shield. You all continue to investigate according to the original plan, and you must also be extra careful. The scene changes. In the imperial palace, that old fox, Prime Minister took the initiative to plead guilty. Your Majesty, please forgive your humble servant for his failure to discipline his family, leading his unworthy daughter to commit such a treasonous act. The emperor, knowing everything, deliberately asked, What does my dear minister mean by this? I don't quite understand. Today's incident with the Fergana horse was purely due to my unworthy daughter's jealousy. It was a scheme to frame the crown princess. Please, your Majesty, investigate clearly. It was definitely not aimed at your majesty. So that's how it is. Since my dear minister has served the court diligently for many years, I trust you. Let's just drop this matter. My dear minister must manage his household well. Your daughter is... This old servant understands. There will certainly not be a next time. The scene changes. In the prime minister's manner, with a loud slap, Ro was knocked to the ground. Unworthy daughter, you have brought complete shame to my prime minister's manor. Like mother, like daughter. This pair of white lotus mother and daughter are truly full of schemes. Ever since the female lead revealed at the investiture ceremony that Ro had danced in a tavern, Prime Minister had been holding a grudge. At this moment, in the Prime Minister's manor, with a loud bang, Prime Minister Yin's iron sand palm came down hard. Unworthy daughter, you have completely disgraced my Prime Minister's manor. As the legitimate daughter of the Prime Minister's manor, not only did you marry into the Crown Prince's manor as a mere concubine, but you even dared to dance in a tavern. This matter has already spread throughout the capital. Where am I, the Prime Minister, supposed to put my face? Ro even started her whimpering. I never told anyone about the tavern incident. Your daughter doesn't know how Naning found out about it. With another slap, he yelled, still whimpering here, I'll whimper your sister. And you were so pleased with yourself, saying the Crown Prince dotes on you. You blockhead, you're not just foolish, you're an idiot. You almost exposed my plan. At this point, Ro couldn't whimper anymore. She could only lie on the floor and wail. Ro's mother came out to smooth things over. Please, my lord, calm your anger. Rower is still young and inexperienced. It's getting late now. Let Rower go back early to avoid outsiders gossiping. Prime Minister flicked his sleeve and left. This is the good daughter you raised. Yin's mother suddenly looked confident. It seems it's time for me, the queen of palace intrigue, to make a move. Rower, although the position of crown princess has been established, that princess from the western regions is not from the central plains. After all, she doesn't understand the ways of things here. For my years of experience as a queen of palace intrigue, with just a little manipulation of the harem's affairs, the position of the head of the household will be firmly in our grasp. As she spoke, a beautiful woman walked out from behind screen. Ro was instantly shocked. Mother, what is the meaning of this? Rower, the maids you brought with you as part of your dowry, the useful ones, have all been lost at the hands of that crown princess. Mother is giving this Ryu to you. You must not underestimate this Ryu. She was personally trained by me. She is proficient in all arts, from music to chess, and her skills in handling men are even more varied. She will definitely help you stabilize your position in the Crown Prince's manor. When necessary, you can even have her help you serve the Crown Prince. Do you understand my meaning? Ro was also shocked. Mother, is that really... All right, the scene changes. It is the next morning. Shuer is reporting to the female lead. Princess, I heard that His Highness the Crown Prince was urgently summoned to the palace last night and has not yet returned. It seems something major is about to happen in the palace. The female lead's gaze suddenly shifted to the door. Haha, whether something major is happening in the palace is not yet certain. But here in the Pear Blossom courtyard, trouble is about to come knocking. Ro was seen gracefully walking in from outside with a group of maids. Oh, sister is in such a good mood. Your little sister, Ro, greets you, sister. Ro wore a sinister smile. Now that sister has been formally invested as the crown princess, you are the head of this crown prince's manor. Right now, the maids in the east courtyard are arguing, which is giving your little sister a headache. I must ask sister to come and see for me who is right and who is wrong. The female lead's eyes instantly turned sharp. Truly a top-grade White Lotus. Coming to find trouble for me on the very first day. This black-hearted White Lotus is truly infuriating, treating a maid's life as such a game. On the second day, after the female lead was invested as crown princess, the White Lotus Ro led a group to her door to cause trouble. Ro wore a sinister smile. Sister, now that you are the mistress of this crown prince's manor, two maids in my courtyard are arguing endlessly over some trivial matter. It's really giving me a headache. I must ask sister to see who is right and who is wrong. The maid Xiaolan, seeing the situation, immediately came forward. Please, your ladyship, grant me justice. Ah Hong stole my hairpin, and now that I've found out, she refuses to admit it. This servant's heart is bitter. The maid Ah Hong, seeing this, immediately knelt and cried painfully. How could I steal Xiaolan's things? It's clear you're framing me to push me out of this crown prince's manor. Please, your ladyship, investigate clearly. You're the one who stole it. You bitch, still arguing here. Hey, you're the one who's framing me, and you're still wrongly accusing me here. What? You dare call me a bitch? Then I'll call you a fighting cock. Behind them, Yin-ro wore a sly smile. Naning, aren't you the crown princess? Aren't you the mistress of the household? I'd like to see how you're going to judge this. With a bang, the teacup in the female lead's hand shattered. You two servants, daring to speak such filth in my presence. You truly have no respect for me. Two mere maids daring to offend a member of the imperial family. According to the law, you should be sentenced to strangulation. The two maids were instantly scared and begged for mercy loudly. Your ladyship, have mercy. This servant will never dare again. The female lead chuckled. I will spare you, considering it was an unintentional mistake. But while the death penalty may be avoided, you cannot escape punishment. Attendants, drag these two maids out and give them each 30 strokes of the cane. The maids' earth-shattering screams came from outside the courtyard. Yin-ro was already trembling with fear. Damn it, why isn't Naning playing by the rules? My rehearsed script is useless now. Sister, why did you start the beating without even questioning them? My maids have delicate skin. If they're beaten badly and word gets out, outsiders will say our crown prince's manner mistreats its maids. The female lead gave a cold laugh. What a joke. These maids have delicate skin, so they can't be beaten? Should we let them be the masters instead? If questioning could yield a result, little sister wouldn't have sent them to my pear blossom courtyard. Since you, the concubine, can't bring yourself to be harsh, then let me, the crown princess, do it for you. In the blink of an eye, the 30 strokes were finished. The two maids were on the verge of death. The female lead hummed softly. How about it? 30 strokes of the cane don't feel good, do they? If you know what's good for you, just admit who lied. You'll get another 10 strokes, and that'll be the end of it. I, as the mistress, promised to let bygones be bygones. The two maids looked at each other. They didn't know how to answer. Since no one is willing to admit it, then give them each another 100 strokes. Just beat them to death. The maid Xiaolan suddenly clenched her jaw, her gaze flickering to Yin-ro at the side. Then she shouted loudly, Your ladyship, forgive me. It was I who framed Xiaohong. This servant will atone with my death. Please, your ladyship, spare my family. With a spurt, a mouthful of blood came out of her mouth. Xiaolan's eyes filled with tears as she slowly collapsed. Father, mother, please forgive your unfilial daughter. At this moment, the crown prince strode in from outside the courtyard. Naning, what's all this commotion in your pear blossom courtyard again? Seeing him, Yin-ro immediately rushed over. Your Highness, sister is truly terrifying. My maid has been beaten to death by sister. Have you ever seen a woman who happily find a concubine for her husband? This female lead's actions are simply god tier. To discuss the female lead, Yin-ro used two maids to fabricate a baseless case, openly challenging the female lead's authority as the crown princess. After receiving 30 strokes, the maid Xiaolan suddenly vomited blood and died. Upon seeing the crown prince, Yin-ro played the victim first. Your Highness, sister is truly too cruel. She beat my maid to death. A trace of hesitation flashed in the crown prince's eyes. Then he sternly rebuked the female lead. Naning, you dare to take a life in the crown prince's manor? You're simply lawless. Yin-ro, on the other hand, was crying a river of tears. Your Highness must seek justice for your subject. Xiaolan was so innocent. My heart truly hurts so much. Seeing this, the female lead gave a cold laugh. You rushed to my pear blossom courtyard early this morning to put on a show, just waiting for the moment Yin Xiao returned, weren't you? Unfortunately, you're going to be disappointed again. Sure, summon the coroner to properly examine the true cause of this maid's death. Yin-ru was suddenly shocked. Why, sister, why are there 5 coroners here? Hee, I had a dream about some things last night, so I made preparations early this morning. I just didn't expect them to be useful. If my younger sister hadn't made such a fuss, I wouldn't have been able to explain myself today, even if I had 100 mouths. A moment later, the coroner confirmed the maidservant's death. Reporting to your Highness the Crown Prince, this maidservant died from poison. The poison was embedded in her teeth. The moment she bit down, it caused immediate death. It seems this maidservant came with the determination to die. Yin-ru hurriedly retorted, Nonsense. Where did this charlatan come from? How dare you spout such nonsense in the Crown Prince's residence? Do you know this is a capital offense? The coroner, with a calm face, said, I am no charlatan. I am a yin-yang master in the service of the imperial family. If I have offended your ladyship, I ask for your ladyship's punishment. Yin-ru gritted her teeth in anger. Damn you, Nanang. You've outsmarted me again. I can't let him investigate any further. It seems I have to use my ultimate move. Yin-ru then leaned toward Ryu. Ditto, I feel so dizzy. Xiaolan's death has made my heart ache so much that even my period has come out. Sobi. Xiaolan, you died so tragically. Ryu, beside her, looked at the crown prince with a flirtatious expression. The crown prince's eyes narrowed. This maidservant looks unfamiliar. Which courtyard are you from? Ryu gracefully curtsied. Greetings to your highness. I was sent by the prime minister's wife to serve her ladyship. Yinru immediately started coughing again. This Ryu is a maidservant sent to my courtyard by my mother. Recently, I have not been feeling well. Ryu can serve in my place. Your highness. The crown prince, Yin Xiao, smiled faintly. So Ryu is a token of the prime minister's wife's goodwill. That is truly thoughtful. Then he turned to look at the female lead with a hint of provocation. Crown princess, what do you think? Do you want me to accept this gift or not? If the crown princess feels it's inappropriate or is unhappy, I will not accept this gift. Seeing this, the female lead chuckled. Of course, you must accept her. Younger sister Yinru's period is unpredictable. If there's one more concubine to serve your highness, then younger sister Yinru won't have to tire herself out so much. Such a beautiful woman. Wouldn't it be a pity for her to just be a maidservant? Your highness is so sentimental and righteous. You should also give younger sister Ryu a proper title. Before anyone could react, the female lead waved her hand. Attendance. By the crown princess's decree, Miss Ryu is beautiful and has a gentle temperament. She is specially conferred the title of Lady Yu, with the same rank as younger sister Yinru. She will reside in the West Courtyard. All her food, clothing, and expenses will be handled according to younger sister Yinru's standards. Wow, you're really doing it? It's satisfying to anger your wife for a moment, but you'll be chasing her through a crematorium later. This arrogant crown prince is finally getting a taste of his own medicine. The White Lotus Yinru brought the maidservant Ryu to deal with the female lead. Unexpectedly, the female lead turned the tables and made Ryu a secondary consort. From now on, younger sister Ryu and younger sister Yinru will both be secondary consorts. Their food, clothing, and expenses will be identical. Yinru let out a cry. This is absolutely unacceptable. Sister, you must reconsider. The female lead chuckled. What's so unacceptable about it? Speaking of which, this was your idea, younger sister. Sister, you and His Highness have just gotten married, and you're already establishing another secondary consort for him. If word of this gets out, it will cause gossip. Hee. Younger sister, you worry too much. The status of a secondary consort, a lady, and a concubine are all the same. There will be many more concubines to be appointed in the future, but I am the only main consort in this crown prince's residence. It's just one small concubine. I don't care at all. With a cry, Yinru spat out a mouthful of old blood. Help me, I'm really fainting this time. The crown prince suddenly grabbed the female lead's chin. Nanang, do you truly not care how many concubines I have? TCH, what's there to care about? Good, very good. The crown prince, looking resentful, flicked his sleeves and left. Tonight, lady, you will attend to me. That will not betray the kind intentions of my two beloved consorts. The scene changes. In the West Courtyard, Xiao Ran serves fine wine. Your Highness, the wine you asked for is here. After putting down the wine, Xiao Ran and the crown prince exchanged a private glance. The crown prince immediately understood. The night is long, and I have no mood for sleep. Please have a cup of wine to warm yourself, Your Highness. At this moment, Ryu's face was flushed like a peach blossom, her chest alluring. Her flirtatious eyes could truly make a man's heart race. But the crown prince beside her was lost in thought, ignoring the beauty before him. Ryu was suddenly embarrassed. Ahem. What should I do if my husband isn't interested in me? Waiting online. The crown prince suddenly snapped back to reality. Oh my, is this the wine you were poured? Why don't you drink it first, Yua? Ryu said coquettishly. Your Highness, you're so naughty. Yua will get drunk. After a cup of warm wine, Ryu suddenly felt dizzy. Oh, Your Highness, you should have a cup too. I'm already feeling a little dizzy. Ryu took the opportunity to fall into the crown prince's arms. The crown prince raised a hand and pushed. With a thud, Ryu fell directly to the ground. Come out, Xiaoran. You know how to handle the rest, right? The scene changes. In the pear blossom courtyard, the female lead was sound asleep. The crown prince suddenly pushed open the door. Yin Xiao, weren't you in the West Courtyard? What are you doing here in my pear blossom courtyard? What? I'm in your pear blossom courtyard. Are you happy or disappointed? I'm neither happy nor disappointed, just a little surprised. Shouldn't you have a beauty in your arms right now? How do you have time to come to my place? A trace of disappointment flashed across the crown prince's face. Nanang, I'll be honest. I really don't understand you. Your own husband has a beauty in his arms, yet you can sleep so soundly. With a rustle, the crown prince lifted the blanket. Forget it, forget it. Why am I being so serious? seeing the crown prince lie down directly. The female lead was full of questions. Hey, what are you doing? Are you being a hooligan? Get down quickly. This is my bed. You're not welcome here. Stop arguing. I'm very tired. If you don't want to sleep on the bed, you can go sleep on the floor. The female lead angrily pulled the blanket over herself. I'll fart under the covers. I'll fart and suffocate you. At this moment, the crown prince had a look of enjoyment. Oh my, it smells so good. Three women make a drama. The scheming among the concubines in this harem is truly a step-by-step thriller. The day after the female lead conferred the title of secondary consort on Ryu, Ryu came early in the morning to pay her respects to the female lead. Rise, you just arrived at the crown prince's residence yesterday. Are you accustomed to the new environment? Ryu gracefully curtsied, replying to her ladyship, everything is fine. Thank you for your concern, your ladyship. The female lead looked at Ryu, thinking to herself, this girl is indeed quite good-looking. No wonder she was chosen by the prime minister's wife. I still don't know what this girl's background is. It seems I'll have to put in some effort, but you're dressed so revealingly. Are you trying to show off the hickey on your neck to me? Yin Xiao was in my pear blossom courtyard all last night. Where did that hickey of yours come from? Or perhaps you wanted to show it to Yinru. By the way, younger sister Ryu, I believe you are a smart person. I don't need to explain the reason I promoted you, do I? From now on, you should look after yourself in this crown prince's residence. As she spoke, Yinru slowly walked in from outside the door. She directly ignored Ryu and curtsied to the female lead. Younger sister pays respects to elder sister. I was delayed by some matters today. Please forgive me, sister. The female lead smiled faintly. It's no matter, no matter. Younger sister Ryu was busy all night and still came to pay respects so early this morning. Younger sister Ryu is the one who has truly worked hard. Don't you agree, younger sister Yinru? Yinru glanced sideways. Wow, 3060. Okay, I looked at the wrong place. Why are there so many hickeys on Ryu's neck? This is impossible. His Highness didn't even touch me. Yinru turned and put on a fake smile. Younger sister Ryu has indeed worked hard. You should rest more. Ryu, on the other hand, had a blissful expression. Not all. I barely moved. It was all His Highness doing the work. I should thank my sister for the promotion. The female lead smiled to herself. It seems the dog-eat-dog show is about to begin. I need to add some fuel to the fire. Sure, bring me the hairpin that younger sister Yinru gifted me last time. I think this hairpin suits younger sister Ryu very well. Consider it a meeting gift from me, your elder sister. Ryu's face instantly broke into a cold sweat. Ahem, I'm afraid I'm not worthy of accepting it. It's fine, I'm just regifting. If younger sister really doesn't like it, you can just throw it away after returning to the west courtyard. But for you to refuse like this, could it be that you're afraid younger sister Yinru will mind? I'm sure younger sister Yinru is not so petty. Ryu was startled. She wanted to refuse again, but didn't know how to speak. She then turned to look at Yinru behind her. Although Yinru's face was calm, her heart was already in turmoil. Not all. I thank your ladyship for your grace. After hearing this, the female lead waved her hand. All right, I'm tired too. You may all leave. On their way back to their respective courtyards, Ryu quickly caught up to Yinru and grabbed her hand. Sister, please wait. Ryu had a sincere expression. Thank you so much for this, sister. In the future, I will definitely repay your great kindness. Yinru's face changed in a second. What do you think you are? What gives you the right to be on equal footing with me? You'd better be clear about your own status. Otherwise, I'll make you pay. Yinru then flicked her sleeve and left. Behind her, Ryu's eyes were sharp. It seems the backyard of this crown prince's residence is much more interesting than the prime minister's residence. The best way to conquer a woman is with a bout of poetry. This arrogant crown prince is really putting his knowledge to use. Just after Yinru and Ryu left, Shu'er came forward to report the third prince, Yin Xian, requests an audience. The female lead was about to refuse, but Yin Xian had already stepped into the room. Sister-in-law, why be so heartless and shut me out? Didn't you get in anyway? I've already told you that I will have no more contact with you. Why must you be so persistent? Yin Xian frowned. Sister-in-law, I came to apologize to you. Hiding my identity before was a necessity. I sincerely want to be your friend. What a joke. You're the son of noble consort Rome, the nephew of Prime Minister Een and Yinru's cousin. The fact that we can still stand here and talk peacefully is already the limit. How can there be any talk of being friends? Yin Xian stepped forward and grabbed the female lead. Nanang, you have to believe me. I'm not like them. Insolence. The crown prince's voice suddenly came from behind. The dignified third prince of the great Jin kingdom, being so insolent toward his own sister-in-law. The floods in Jiangbei are rampant right now. If you are truly idle, you should go to Jiangbei to gain some experience. Yin Xian was instantly embarrassed. No. Imperial elder brother, you misunderstand. I was just passing by the crown prince's residence and came to see imperial sister-in-law. With a flick of his sleeve, Yin Xian instantly made a run for it. Goodbye, sister-in-law. I'll come see you next time. After Yin Xian left, the female lead questioned him. Your Highness the Crown Prince, you are still in the Pear Blossom Courtyard. Is there anything else? I have long heard that the Crown Princess has a wide circle of friends. Today, I have finally witnessed it. The Crown Prince's eyes instantly became sinister and sharp. The customs of the Western regions are truly bold. Please watch your words, Your Highness the Crown Prince. My friendship with the third prince is open and honorable. The female lead stepped forward, closing in on the Crown Prince. I, Nanang, have always adhered to my principles. I act with integrity and have nothing to fear from other slander. Besides, I haven't even done anything yet. If I really did something, what? Your Highness the Crown Prince, you only allow yourself to set fires, but you won't allow me, a common person, to light a lamp? Nanang, if you really dare to do something out of line, I will not spare you. Good. Then I will let your Highness the Crown Prince see if I, Nanang, dare to do it. The Crown Prince grabbed the female lead's chin. Do you really think I can't handle you, my Crown Princess? The female lead remained confrontational. Then I shall wait and see. The Crown Prince suddenly pulled the female lead over. He gave the female lead a domineering kiss. Nanang, no matter how much you resist, you will always be my Yin Xiao's woman. The female lead was stunned at first, then she struggled desperately. No matter how much you struggle, you can't escape. My palm. With a slap, the female lead landed a heavy blow. Yin Xiao, you are simply shameless. At this moment, the Crown Prince looked satisfied. The little wildcat is quite fierce. She actually dared to bite me. Then he turned and left without a trace of hesitation. The female lead was left standing there, trembling with anger. Damn you, Yin Xiao. You can't even argue properly. What's wrong with you? At this moment, Shu'er came from behind. Princess, a message has come from the palace. Noble consort, Rome summons you. The female lead looked up at the sky. I know. What's coming will come. Princess, this trip will surely be dangerous. It's better to take Shu'er with you. The female lead's eyes looked sharply ahead. No need. It's just a treacherous banquet. Nothing to be afraid of. Be careful who you befriend. Stay away from green tea bitches. This arrogant noble consort Rong has really been screwed over by that green tea, Yinru. Just after the female lead was forcefully kissed by the domineering crown prince, Shu'er came forward to report that noble consort Rome from the harem has summoned the princess. This is definitely a treacherous banquet. Princess, you should let Shu'er go with you. The female lead chuckled. No need, Shu'er. Let me go and meet this noble consort Rome. In a flash, they arrived at the Phoenix Sparrow Hall. Noble consort Rong and Yinru had already set the stage, waiting for the female lead to arrive. After paying her respects, the female lead spoke slowly. Your ladyship, the noble consort, is truly graceful and voluptuous. At a glance, you and younger sister Yinru look like sisters. Don't you think so, younger sister Yinru? Yinru nodded in agreement on the surface, but in her heart, she had already rolled her eyes to the heavens. TCH, how can a mere commoner compete with me? Noble consort Rong, however, smiled like a flower. Not at all, not at all. It's all thanks to the emperor. Nanang, your mouth is so sweet. No wonder the emperor praised you so much on the day of the investiture ceremony. Speaking of the investiture ceremony, I must thank younger sister Yinru. I had just arrived in the Central Plains and didn't understand the seating etiquette. It was younger sister Yinru who told me to sit in the first seat to the emperor's left. A trace of displeasure flashed across noble consort Rong's face. She then whispered loudly to Yinru beside her. You wanted Nanang to sit in my seat. Are you trying to embarrass her or me? Yinru picked up a megaphone and said loudly, she's just trying to drive a wedge between us. Aunt, you mustn't fall for her trick. Forget it, forget it. The fact that you didn't sit down on the day of the ceremony shows that you are a smart person. Since that's the case, I won't beat around the bush. I heard that your maidservant, Shuer, is highly skilled in martial arts. I am currently in need of such a guard. I wonder if the crown princess would be willing to send her to the palace? The female lead's heart sank. In my past life, I couldn't protect Shuer, and in the end, she met a tragic end. In this life, I will absolutely not compromise. Replying to your ladyship, Shuer grew up in the desert and is impulsive and reckless. I'm afraid she might anger your ladyship. What? Are you trying to defy my decree? The female lead knelt and curtsied. Nanang wouldn't dare. It is truly for your ladyship's sake that I must consider everything carefully for her entire life. Noble consort Rong scoffed. Insolent Nanang, are you saying my judgment is poor? I'll give you two choices now. Either offer up your maidservant or go outside and kneel for 3 hours. Yinru, at the side, had a gloating expression. My dear sister, the sun is scorching outside right now. Kneeling for 3 hours will make you lose a layer of skin. The female lead calculated in her mind. According to the time of the report, he should be arriving soon. Since your ladyship insists on forcing me, then I don't need to be polite. I choose to kneel for 3 hours. But I also advise your ladyship not to regret your current decision. And don't get too close to that green tea bitch. I, Nanning, know that I am narrow-minded. Vengeance is my nature. You're standing up for some white lotus green tea bitch, but in the end, you might be the one who suffers. At this moment, a maidservant came forward to report, your ladyship the noble consort. The Empress Dowager heard that the crown princess has entered the palace and misses her granddaughter-in-law very much. She is on her way now. What? Didn't the Empress Dowager go to the Buddhist hall to offer incense? Noble consort Rome waved her hand. TCH, you little bitch got lucky today. Rise. Prepare to welcome the Empress Dowager. But the female lead gave a sinister smile. How can that be? Your ladyship the noble consort. It's one thing for the imperial grandmother to come, but it's another for you to punish me. The two cannot be confused. After speaking, the female lead turned and walked out of the hall. To uphold your ladyship's authority in this harem, I will not kneel for a moment less than 3 hours. We juniors must be considerate of your ladyship. Don't you agree, your ladyship the noble consort? Life is like a play. It all depends on acting. The great drama that the female lead directed and starred in was truly magnificent. Noble consort Rome, on the grounds that the female lead defied her, punished the female lead by making her kneel for 3 hours. A maidservant came forward to report that the Empress Dowager was on her way. You got lucky today. First, prepare to welcome the Empress Dowager's arrival. Unexpectedly, the female lead gave a cold smile. To uphold the noble consort's dignity, I am determined to kneel for these 3 hours. Even Jesus couldn't stop me. I said it. With a thud, the female lead went directly outside the hall and knelt, refusing to get up. Wow, get up quickly. I already said the punishment is off. Do you want to defy my decree again? Hee, is your ladyship anxious now? Since your ladyship has torn all pretenses with me for the sake of your good niece, then I am not afraid to offend you completely. I said my nature is to seek revenge for the smallest grievance. Since you have provoked me, I will not return empty-handed. The show is just beginning. Your ladyship, you'd better watch closely. With a thud, the female lead kowtowed. The noble consort and Yinru were so scared their faces turned pale. Wow, are you playing this big? The female lead instantly switched to actress mode. Wah, spare me, your ladyship. I truly know I was wrong. I will never dare to do it again. Noble consort Rome screamed in anger. Yinru, how did you get involved with such a difficult person? I shouldn't have gotten involved in this mess. Yinru shrank into a corner in shame. It has nothing to do with me. What are you all standing there for? Hurry up and pull her up. The emperor has arrived. The Empress Dowager has arrived. His Highness the Crown Prince has arrived. The eunuch's voice suddenly came from outside the door. Noble consort Rome gritted her teeth in anger. Why is the emperor here too? The green tea Yinru only now got nervous. Why would His Highness the Crown Prince come to the Phoenix Sparrow Hall? The female lead, however, chuckled. They come at just the right time. It wasn't a waste of my good show. In a flash, the emperor and the others arrived in the courtyard. My dear consort, what is going on? Why is the crown princess kneeling and begging for mercy? At this point, noble consort Rome was already covered in a cold sweat. This, your servant. The female lead beside her, with tears streaming down her face, reported to the emperor, "It has nothing to do with her ladyship, the noble consort. It is all my fault. I don't know who told her ladyship, the noble consort, that my maidservant, sure, is highly skilled in martial arts and can protect me from harm. Her ladyship, the noble consort, was thinking of having Sure enter the palace to serve her. But Sure and I are like sisters, and I really couldn't bear to part with her, so I refused her ladyship. That's why I was punished by her ladyship." Sob, sob, sob. "It's all my fault, not her ladyship, the noble consort's fault." You heard clearly. It's not her ladyship, the noble consort's fault. The female lead turned and continued to add fuel to the fire. "Your ladyship, the noble consort, I already know I was wrong. Please forgive me. Sobi, Sobi, Sobi." After hearing this, the emperor sternly questioned noble consort Rome. "Is this true?" Noble consort Rome was sweating profusely. I was just confused for a moment. I wasn't targeting the crown princess. Insolence. What a powerful and influential noble consort you are, acting so tyrannically in this harem. I'm afraid that years of favor have made you forget your own status. Attendants, revoke noble consort Rome's title of noble consort. Confine her to the palace. She's not to leave the palace without a summons. A smile flashed across the female lead's lips, which was noticed by the Empress Dowager. "Oh, this young woman is really not simple. Have you ever seen the tactic of killing a chicken to warn the monkeys?" The female lead's way of establishing her authority is truly effective. Just as the female lead successfully subdued noble consort Rome with a self-inflicted injury ploy, the Empress Dowager saw everything clearly. This child is truly clever. She even knows how to advance by retreating. "Shower, why don't you hurry up and help the crown princess up?" The crown prince stepped forward and helped the female lead up. A wave of disgust rose in the female lead's heart. I didn't expect the crown princess's acting skills to be so superb. I'm truly impressed. Likewise. Watching the loving backs of the crown prince and the female lead, Yinru was filled with rage. His Highness didn't even look at me once. "All right, Nanang, you're ruthless." In a flash, they were in the east courtyard. A man was kneeling on the ground. "Your ladyship, this is Nanny Li's son, Wang Er. He is a gambling addict and is now heavily in debt and at his wit's end." Yinru snorted. "Your mother was very loyal to me. Unfortunately, the Pear Blossom courtyard had no place for her, and she ended up dying tragically on the streets. This gold is a small token of my appreciation. I believe you are a smart person." Wang Er's eyes lit up instantly. "I understand your intentions, my lady. From now on, I am your man. If you have any tasks, just give the order." At this moment, in the kitchen, Yinru's personal maid, Kai Dai, was loudly mocking the female lead. Delivering food to that person in the Pear Blossom courtyard every day, she's really lucky to be alive. The Pear Blossom courtyard is full of poisonous snakes and scorpions. Who knows when she'll meet a violent end? "Ha, you all better hurry up." The crown princess puts on great airs. "If we're late and she finds fault with us, we won't be able to bear the consequences." Everyone burst into laughter upon hearing this. Her whole life, a heavy slap landed. The people present were instantly dumbfounded. "Which blind dog dared to hit me? A first-rank maid." The female lead stood behind her. "What? Is being a first-rank maid so impressive? Speak up. Why aren't you talking? Weren't you shouting so happily just now? Oh, you maid look familiar. Aren't you Yinru's first-rank maid?" "Kai Dai." The maid Kai Dai was still arrogant. "So what if I'm Kai Dai? I am from the east courtyard. Your ladyship, you have no right." With another slap, Shuer landed another blow. "You've been given an inch, haven't you? It seems you servants from the east courtyard have really been spoiled. Do you really think your master cares about you maids? It seems you have truly forgotten who the mistress of this crown prince's residence is. Attendants, drag her to the entrance of the east courtyard and give her 100 strokes. If anyone dares to plead for mercy, they will be punished for the same crime. If this maid is still alive after the beating, sell her to the government brothel. Remember, not one stroke less than 100. The female lead stood up and looked at the rest of the crowd. You all better remember who the mistress of this crown prince's residence is. Attendants, the maids in this east courtyard are arrogant because they are favored. With a loud bang, Yinru threw a tantrum in the east courtyard. Damn you, Nanang! How dare you strip me of my power in the east courtyard? I will not let you off lightly. A maid beside her quickly tried to calm her down. "My lady, calm down. The crown princess is doing this to provoke you and make you lose your composure. You must not fall for her trick." However, now that the East Courtyard is full of the crown princess's people, it might not be a bad thing for you. If something were to happen to you now, the crown princess would definitely be implicated. Why don't you suffer a little yourself to win the crown prince's affection? Yinru's eyes lit up. "That's right. How can my pig brain not have thought of that? Go get a bucket of ice water for me to soak in. I'll give this Nanang a taste of her own medicine," turning a tragic play into a one-woman show. This White Lotus, Yinru, really made us onlookers laugh out loud. Just after the female lead managed to strip the East Courtyard of its power, Yinru had a flash of inspiration and came up with a self-inflicted injury ploy. "Go get a bucket of ice water for me to soak in right now. I'd like to see how Nanang will explain this to His Highness." The scene changes. The moon is high in the sky. The crown prince has just stepped through the door. A maid immediately threw herself at the crown prince's feet. "Your Highness the Crown Prince, you're finally back. My lady has suddenly fallen gravely ill. Please go to the East Courtyard to see her." The crown prince spoke faintly. "Do you think I look like an old traditional doctor? If you're sick, why don't you go find a doctor instead of looking for me at the door?" "Your Highness the Crown Prince, you don't know. The crown princess replaced all the servants in the East Courtyard this morning. These new servants don't listen to my lady. Now no one dares to defy the crown princess's orders. The doctors and the residents don't dare to come and treat my lady." The crown prince frowned. "You're saying the crown princess has completely taken over the power of the East Courtyard?" "Yes, Your Highness the Crown Prince. My lady has caught a severe cold and is now on the verge of death. Please, Your Highness the Crown Prince, hurry to the East Courtyard to see her." The crown prince chuckled. "It seems this crown princess is truly lawless. In that case, Xiaoran, let's take a trip to the Pear Blossom Courtyard." "Yes, I will lead the way." "Wow, that's not right. Why are we going to the Pear Blossom Courtyard?" "Your Highness the Crown Prince, please wait. It's the East Courtyard, the East Courtyard. My lady is critically ill and dying in the East Courtyard." The crown prince chuckled. "Then I must hurry and get justice for your lady." At this moment, Yin